Ah, yeah, and the honk brings us in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Argonauts, to a Tuesday stream. It's 1 p.m. Eastern here on in the big city, and it is December 1st. So welcome to the first day of the last month of 2020. Thank God. And they all cheered. Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope you folks are looking forward to what I think is going to be a really fun stream today of, as always, well, not always, but always at the moment, The Way of the Tiger Assassin. Very excited for this. Live illustrated, as always, by the incomparable TariToons. But before we get there and introduce her, I just want to talk a little bit about ways to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with exclamation point ArvTube, Discord with exclamation point ArvCord, Twitter with exclamation point ArvTweets. Website on all of this is arvineleron.com. On the financial side, exclamation point ArvShop is the merchandise area where you can get different things for the stream that is based on the Infinity and Beyond crew and the Adventures in Middle Earth crew, and also some Espergenesis stuff is going to be over there as well soon that will support the channel and support you in your holiday shopping endeavors. While we're on the subject of that, supporting the channel is another way to be. Why not give a gift of a, for example, Patreon subscription to the loved one in your life? And you can do that, or ones. You can do that by checking us out at exclamation point ArvTreon. We are at 22 patrons, $2.39 a month. And any support that people can give there is much appreciated because it goes right back into the channel and into my writing. And in fact, I've actually added something to the channel, which I'm about to show all of you in just a minute, which is a function of the fact that I was able to get the support from the Patreon to make this happen. So I'll show you all that in a moment. So we've got that, the Patreon, cool stuff for yourself and for the channel. Quick note, I have not yet reset inspirations. I will do that, but I have not had a chance to do it yet. I'll try to do it by the end of the year. Hello, Iscariot Paladin and Triffid and all others. But yeah, so that is going to be happening soon. But that's the Patreon. On the and on the subscription front, speaking of subscriptions, you can subscribe to the channel and join the many others who have done so as well. Get these custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff that you can see there. And you can also get inspirations to help the players there as well. Please tell everyone, tell your friends, give a gift sub. It's the part of the Christmas / Hanukkah / Kwanzaa / Festivus spirit. So please join on board with that. And then last but certainly not least, the publishing stuff. Exclamation point Icarus is for my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts. Just came out earlier in November, and I'm very excited about that. Very excited to see how things go as we move forward with that. Exclamation point library is Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment. Super excited for more details about that to come out, specifically the print versions, which are supposedly on the way. So they are the printing is pretty much done. They're going to be shipped, and so shipping is happening, should be this week, and so I'm excited, and I know that everyone's been super patient, but thank you all for having been patient if you supported it, and if not, why not check out the details about getting this awesome 5e adventure and source book. So there's that, and then we've got exclamation point Greyshade KS, which is my Greyshade Kickstarter, which will be launching now in only 2 months, actually. It'll be early February that it's going to be launching, February 3rd, 2021, so just a little over 2 months is the release date for that Greyshade Kickstarter, the launch date, and I'm very excited to talk more about that a little bit to this month, but then definitely when we get into January, obviously I'll be talking more about that as well. And last but certainly not least, extremely importantly, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter. I'm going to continue to talk about this because it continues to be important, so please jump over there to support the things you can find at that link, both in terms of resources, education, political advocacy, and the like. And exclamation point Help Now, which is based on my current guest, actually, her commentary from a little bit over almost 2 weeks ago, I guess, which was relating to, it was 2 weeks ago exactly, which is relating to someone that she lost recently to suicide. And this is the World Health Organization's suicide prevention page. It has links to resources and the like. Please read it and take it to heart and let people know, because it is important that we do that, especially in what may be a difficult holiday season for folks. Holidays are not always easy for everybody, and especially, this year, it's definitely not easy for folks either. As far as schedule is concerned, I have done the tentative schedule, and I think we're in fairly good shape, actually, in terms of it being pretty well set. There are some things which will be up in the air, especially later in the month, which I warned everybody would be the case, but I am still in the midst of doing some sort of looking into moving and the like. And so that is the case still. But we have right now, as I'm looking at it, If you take a look at the schedule, you will see that we've got Way of the Tiger Assassin Gamebook today. Then we've got D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. I'm going to say more about that in just a second. Tomorrow night, we have Community D&D with the Shadow Crew, Shadowed Mage, and then we've got, of course, Rock God, Triffity Mats. We have got Hoodie and, of course, Echo Alpha X5. That is going to be coming to you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday at 8:30 p.m., we have Esper Genesis, which is great. I'm excited to have that campaign continue. And on Saturday, the 5th, we will have our post-mortem for Curse of Strahd and the launch, Session 0, basically, of the mini-campaign Palace of the Red Pasha, which will be a return to the high-level Tyranny of Dragons campaign. It's actually after the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. It's going to be a mini-campaign in which there are some loose ends, basically, that are covered in that world, and we'll be spending a few months there before launching our new big campaign, which is going to be Eberron, so I'm excited for that. Monday, we have got more Grumbler's Guide to Temple of Elemental Evil with Sod and Gromnir Grumblehammer. On Tuesday, we have Adventures next Tuesday, Adventures in Middle-earth, Erebor Adventures, and then Pen and Pixels D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. So we're doing that 2 weeks in a row. We got D&D today, Storm King's Thunder. And then next week, Storm King's Thunder as well. Friday, we have the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Saturday, the 12th, is D&D with Viewers Holiday Edition. Now, from this point forward, I made most of the rest of the month to be somewhat up in the air because there is going to be, at the very least for a 2-week period, starting on Friday the 11th and running until somewhere about Thursday the 24th. Streams are going to be as you see them there, but it's going to be dependent on where I am. We are planning on moving, so we're going to be, we're putting the house in the market, and there's a lot that's involved with that. And so we're excited for it, but it means it's a lot of stuff going on at that time. And so I think I have internet covered at these various places that we're going to be going to, because we're going to be out of the house for a week while it's being shown and, different things like that. But it's just going to have to be played by ear. And so that's why I front loaded a lot of the group streams, like the tabletop streams at the beginning of the month, because I knew that it would be safer to do that, basically. So there's a lot of Final Fantasy VII. We've got D&D. We've got Vaporum Lockdown. We've got we've got the Speculate Twitch stream, but we have no Sound Clash this month. They will be back in January. We have 2 Emberwind sessions as normal and 2 Community D&D sessions as normal, but we have only 1 AIME session this month, only 1 Esper Genesis session this month, and only 1 Curse of Strahd session this month. And again, sorry, not Curse of Strahd, Infinity and Beyond stream. Again, that's all by design so that I don't get, blown out basically by work that I can't possibly finish because I'm, traveling from here to there. We are still going to have the Our Vocalist Christmas Carol on the night of Tuesday the 15th. Which I'm very excited about with the crew. It's one of my favorite streams that I do every year. We still have the special holiday family event that's on Friday the 25th, which is Christmas Day, where we will play games with Little Arv, Mini Arv, Mrs. Arv, and yours truly. We still have the year of streaming 2020, so the end of the year show, which will be Saturday the 26th. So all that is still in place. But the other streams, like, as I say, these other things are up in the air, and that includes D&D with Viewers Holiday Edition. I want to be able to do that, and I'll try, but again, it's going to depend on how my schedule looks as we're moving around. So once we're in January, hopefully, if all goes well, we will have our stuff moved into wherever the new place ends up to be. We certainly won't be moved in, but we'll have our stuff there anyway, and so the studio and all that won't be set up yet, but it'll be in place more or less. At least we'll be there. So once we get to January, it should stabilize a little bit, and then certainly by February or March. But over the next, month or so, I'm going to have to ask everyone to bear with me a little bit. We've been in this place for a decade. You've never seen me not streaming from this environment except when I stream on the road, but you've never seen me stream from another home base. So yeah, it's a whole different world that we're looking forward to. So with that said, hey, what's up, Coven? Good to see you. I'm glad you caught the Tuesday afternoon show. I'm going to introduce Terry, but I want to get rid of this and get rid of this, and I'm going to turn on this, and I want to show you all something which is a little bit different. Now, you may notice here that my face is pretty well lit, perhaps a little more lit than normal. Let me show you what happens. Oh my goodness, I'm stuck in shadow. I wonder why. Perhaps I have the power of a light panel. Oh yeah. No more shadows in Arv's face. No more, here's Steelers. What's this? Instead, we have a light panel. I bit the bullet. There was my one Black Friday gift to myself was I spent a little bit of money, not too much actually, and spent this thing, which is a pixel light panel. It's kind of like an Elgato, but it's way cheaper. I ended up getting it for about $70 when it normally is on sale for 200. So I was like, you know what? The time has come. So yeah, I've got this thing. It's got a remote control to it. I can adjust like the Kelvin and everything. So that was one of the things I needed to get. I still am going to need to get a good mirrorless camera. Is going to be my next thing that I want to do, but that's going to be something I have to save up for to replace the webcam. But I'm getting there. Good lighting is really important, and so now I feel like you get the full power. Exactly. When I want to be Shadow Mage, but when I don't. Oh yeah. And this can get really bright, by the way. If I go up all the way. Too much. So instead, we're going to reduce that back down to there. Yeah, well, you know what, Iscariot? I was like, listen, the time has come. And it makes a difference to everything. It makes a difference on how all of it looks. So, yeah. In fact, let me just deactivate and reactivate this for just a second. Okay, and now we're going to activate that for just a second and make sure we've got the feel of it. Okay, good. So yeah, very exciting. I am happy to have my new lighting system, but I am also happy to announce, and this is the last thing. I'm so sorry that I'm making Terry wait so long, but the last thing I want to announce is that we've got coming up on my GOG stream or later today. We have a big announcement. This is a tabletop related announcement. Tabletop role-playing announcement. And so if you like D&D with GOG, and if you like that crew, and why wouldn't you, of Pyre and Jade, Tasty Chai, Darksaber 2K, and Peripheral Mike, previously known as Screaming Joypad, if you like all of that, then let me tell you that there's going to be some good stuff in your future. So you will not want to miss the announcement coming up today, 4 p.m. Eastern, for D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. You will not want to miss that. But right now, the time has come for me to bring in our amazingly talented, awesome artist and good friend. And so I'm going to unmute myself. I'm going to unmute her, and then I'm going to head over to where she's already hard at work. I feel like I'm at one of those reality shows where the host leads in and then he opens the door and walks in and there's like all this amazing stuff going on, except it's usually baking and not art. But in this case, it's actually art, and I'm going to show it to you now. You can see the art is hard at work, and I'm joined as always by the amazingly awesome TariToons. Hi Terry, how are you? How's life with you?
I'm doing good actually. Have some exciting news, which is that I like everybody here probably knows what Inktober is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing that has been going on for a few years now, but like most of you are probably not aware that I personally do a lot of heraldry related stuff, so I started Herald December
Ooh.
this month.
Isn't that just
Which
your life? Isn't it just heraldy life? Like, you do this anyway.
yeah, I guess, except no, this is like with a prompt list, which you guys can find on my Twitter at
Oh.
TariToons. Um, and like, and haven't seen much stuff posted online yet from other artists, but like I know that on the heraldry Discord that I'm on, that like there are already so many entries for today, which is amazing, which I love. So that's good.
I'm going to go
That's
over, I want to
nice.
make sure I put a link in to all these things right now. Okay.
Also, I have a new phone with now a functioning camera, so I can actually start posting drawings again.
I'm going to put a link right
Or like
here.
art,
Also, hi
art.
Gigafrost. What is baking if not culinary art, Coven? I agree. Like that's exactly right. Yeah, I saw this drawing that you made, but I didn't notice that it was Herald December. And it's now let's see, health. So wait, now explain. So every day has a different like prompt that you have to draw
Yes.
around. Okay. So this one is
Yes.
health.
Just like with Inktober,
Okay.
basically.
I see. So
Yeah,
we've
and
got
I based every prompt on like a worldwide holiday, like a holiday from around the world, basically.
I see.
So
I
I
see.
think today is World Health Day, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's AIDS Awareness Day,
Right.
right?
It's AIDS Awareness
But
Day today.
I can never keep track. So like I try to have things relate to whatever is going on in the world on that day. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just actually was looking at more of your. I was looking at more stuff on your Twitter. I will get off Terry's Twitter feed. That's. I've got Terry herself right here. Why do I need? Why do I need a Twitter feed? But anyway, that's awesome. And as someone who has seen the work that Terry can do now for a long time, has had the great pleasure and honor of being able to see that work. It is great to see this stuff in a heraldry context. But and I have to say, I don't know whether you feel this way, Terry, but like also it's a heraldry thing which also fits your style. You know, like it's very much. It's not like you trying to imitate someone else doing heraldry. It feels like to me. You know, I
What
feel
do you
like
mean?
it's your approach to it. Like if I look at just that
Oh, you
first
mean the way I
picture,
emblazon things? Yes.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
lets your thing. Like I'm like, yeah, that's obviously Terry doing that. You know,
Aw.
so I think that's cool. And having a distinctive kind of flavor to this, like for example, the work that she's doing right now, as you are producing. I think. No, wait a minute. Are is this Conan? This can't be Conan. Is it Conan?
Yes.
Oh, it is Conan. I love it. I love the actual expression. We were having a discussion before chat about a character, a person named Ladybeard, and I would
Mm.
recommend that you go and look this up because I'm feeling some
Oh,
Ladybeard vibes. Just a few in this picture right here.
I'm pretty sure most people in chat know who Ladybeard is because, unlike you, they don't live behind the moon.
Wow, really? Who knows Ladybeard in this chat? Does anyone know Ladybeard before you have to Google it? Does anybody know this?
Ladybeard is like millennial culture, so.
I pride myself on being right up to date. No, that's not the case. Coven does not. Nonstop does not. Ha ha!
Oh,
Iscariot
boo.
does. I wonder
You
if
old
this is
people in
more
chat.
a European thing though. I wonder if like
No. I know him from the internet, which is very.
Arudinel has
What's
not
the
a
word I
clue.
just learned?
Gigafrost assumes it's a bearded lady. Look at all these no's. This is my chat coming to represent the lack of knowledge.
Okay, fine.
See? All right. I thought I
Fine.
wasn't crazy about about it. It is pretty wild. You all need to look up Deathlift Lolita, which
Deadlift.
I was today years old when I found out about this, and it's great. You need to
That's
check
such a
out
good expression.
Deathlift Lolita.
No,
So
deadlift, not death.
oh, Deathlift. Well, but okay,
Deadlift,
right. It is Deadlift, but it really should be called Deathlift
right?
for extra. You know, no, it's not actually death metal at all. But it's just I can't even describe it. I'm not even going to try. It'll take an hour. So just look it up, and and you're welcome. But in the meantime, we have to get back to our game book here. And we need to
Yes.
find our music for this. So Terry, as always, I will ask you: do you have a game
Uh,
OST? Very important in these days of DMCA, by the way.
so last time we listened to Ninja Gaiden and to one of the Naruto game soundtracks, right?
Right. That is correct. We could do
Trying
that.
to think of any other ninja-based video games. Oh God, what was the one from the people from Klei, who also made Don't Starve?
I
Mark
don't
of
know.
the Ninja, I
Oh,
think is the
Mark of
name.
the Ninja. Yep, that's true. I was
I
thinking of the
have not
Messenger
played that
also.
though,
But
so I don't know how good or like appropriate the soundtrack is for something like this. So yeah.
it probably. I mean, yeah. I think it's probably fine. It just struck me we could also do Ghost of Tsushima soundtrack as well. But I'll leave that out at the moment. Yeah, deadlift is a weightlifting thing. Yes. It's where you basically grab it without prepping. You just sort of grab it from the floor, as there are competitions where you have to grab these incredibly heavy weights. They also feel to me like how to break your body is to me what I feel like whenever I watch someone doing deadlifting. But the best way to describe Ladybeard is death metal J-rock style. Okay? What do you think, Terry? Is that right? Death metal J-rock style?
Sure. Why not? Like I
Sounds
found
like a
that
plan.
like when it comes to Japan-based music, most labels don't really apply in the traditional sense
Mm-hmm.
because they tend to do their own thing with like weird genre mashups
Mm-hmm.
that only they have. So
Gotcha. Yeah, so
it's like when people, because like the guy who made like the Final Fantasy soundtracks and stuff like that, Nobuo Uematsu,
yes.
he also has slash had prog metal band, or so-called prog metal band, which used to be known as the Black Mages. And the last time I heard, they renamed themselves as the Earthbound Papas. They might have renamed themselves again by now.
Okay.
But like that one is like classified as prog metal, but like it doesn't sound like any other prog metal. But like when you listen to it, you're like, yeah, okay, what else would you call it though?
I see. That makes sense to me.
It's like, yeah.
Also, Coven, your deadlift max in high school was at 400 pounds. I'm extremely impressed. Let's see. The only problem with the Mark of the Ninja thing that I'm finding is that I can't find the I can't seem to find the soundtrack, like either a mix, like a playlist, or just the soundtrack by itself. And like I found this one thing that I thought was a mix, and then half of it is like The Mandalorian, which, don't get me wrong, I'd love nothing more, but that'll be a good way to get copyright striked and banned for life if I try to play that on here. So
yeah.
So maybe that doesn't work. Let me try Ghost of the Tsushima then. I know that's more samurai.
I'm like trying to think of any other games about ninjas.
The Messenger is
I don't
one.
know that one.
Yeah. Okay. This one's good. Music from Ghost of Tsushima.
Like I know games that feature a few ninja or one of few ninja characters or something, but like
yeah, no, Ninja Gaiden's obviously the big one, but the Messenger is the one I'm thinking about. But yeah, so let's go with that, Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm gonna put the list. I'm gonna put the link into Zoom chat right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and all right, let's see how we go, chat. Again, I know this is more samurai than ninja, but there is actually ninja possibilities in here.
Well, the dude on the cover appears to be a ninja, so
right.
Like he wears the headband and stuff.
And he's got the bow. Although I guess there's...
Well, samurai mainly used bows, so...
Mainly? I didn't know that they mainly did.
Oh, yes! Like, spears and bows were like the... Like, swords are just like... accessories, basically. Status symbol. But like actually using, it's like mainly spears and bows.
That's interesting. I'm too influenced by my knowledge of samurai from Kurosawa films.
But yeah, yeah, the headband, and he also on his belt has like a grappling hook.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, and in Ghost of
Is that what they're
Tsushima,
called?
you can be either. You can do, you can be more stealthy, which is how I would play it if I ever play that game. That's what I'll be doing. Or you could do the sort of frontal assault, you know, I'm a samurai, get out of my way. So it's perfect, actually. This fits totally, I think. Chat, how we doing on volume on this?
Oh, if we just do like generally Japanese themed music, then like as the next soundtrack, I want to request the Okami soundtrack.
Sure,
I love Okami.
That's a good one too. Yep, that's a good one too.
Oh, such a good game. Did you ever stream that one?
I did.
By the way?
I did. It was the Chat Chosen Game of the Month. I want to say like a year or two ago. Yeah, I did. I played. I don't know. I probably played a good 5 or 6 hours of it. I liked it. I may come back to it at some point. Although I don't. The style of the art I liked sort of, but there was something about it that kind of I bounced off of too. I don't remember what it was in terms of the art. I really honestly don't remember it all now.
Because the art was so good. Like the atmosphere and the art, like what other game can you name where just running is like such a good feeling? Like it is an Okami. When you run across a field and there are flowers growing behind you and it's amazing.
It's listen, for any kind of soundtrack that continues to occupy my consciousness right now, it's been Final Fantasy VII Remake music. Especially after playing the game that I did the other day, which was Dragon Quest 11, because that was the Chat Chosen Game of the Month. And they used an orchestra for that, but the music is just boring. Like, it's the same 10 or 11 tracks. It's just boring. And it was just reminiscent, like a reminder to me, this is how you know the difference between good and not so good in terms of the soundtrack variety and just the quality of the music to begin with. Is that better now, Chet, or is that too loud?
Well, I mean, like the thing is, Final Fantasy soundtracks tend to be amazing in general.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
I mean, oh god, like Nobuo Uematsu is amazing.
Incredible, yeah.
One of my favorite composers ever. So.
Yep. No, I agree. It's incredible. Okay, let's get into it. So,
I
good.
actually
Good. Yes.
got to see him once in real life.
You did?
yeah, like not meet him because he was too far away, but like I went. I think I told that story where I went to this symphonic orchestra
Oh, yes.
thing in Cologne, where they like did this series of concerts
That's right.
with video game music,
Yep.
and two of them I think had Final Fantasy music in them. And for the concert I went to, like Nobuo Uematsu was actually also there in the audience.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you told me that because I mentioned the fact that they had that at the Seattle Symphony Orchestra too,
Like,
and
wanted to get the CD from the concert signed, but like there were so many people, and by the time we would have gotten there, they would have already locked kicked everybody out. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm hugely a fan of. You're right. That music in general is pretty good, but are always good. But that soundtrack is incredible. Like one of the more extraordinary soundtracks I've heard. I mean, I don't know that it beats my top soundtracks ever are Final Fantasy Tactics and soundtrack and the soundtrack to Bastion, which I still think is just absolute gorgeous work of art stuff. Plus the soundtrack to Journey. Like basically anything from Austin Wintory is automatically awesome, but oh man, it was super good. All right. Anyway, let's get into the book because Chad is here to be ninjas, so to speak. So, as you folks may remember from our last time, we are here because we have captured the scrolls of Ketsuin, which is the guardian of the secret word of power. We have defeated the terrible assassin, and our god Quan is pleased with us. But we now have to return the scrolls to their rightful place on the island of Tranquil Dreams. And it is a long and dangerous journey because the gods of evil will stop at nothing to thwart our noble efforts. And they are noble, chat. Let it be known. They are definitely noble efforts. So
that sounds weird, though. The gods of evil? Like, isn't this like about ninja, ergo in Japan, ergo about Shintoism, which is like...
But these are the gods that are opposed to Shintoism. I don't know. Don't think about it too hard. This is the 1980s version of what they thought, these gods were. But yes, it is a little odd. I would agree. Iscariot, the original Tactics, which I'm going to be streaming on this channel at some point. Final Fantasy Tactics Original is probably my favorite game ever. I think it is a game that has almost no weakness, and the soundtrack is a big part of it. It's incredible soundtrack. And I don't know that I would say it's the best soundtrack because there are so many incredible ones. I hate to mention the name these days because he's a bad person, but Jeremy Soul's music for Skyrim and especially for Icewind Dale are iconic. And obviously
God, don't tell me there was drama around him.
Oh no,
please. No, don't ruin Icewind Dale for me.
I don't. I just, don't worry about the person, just worry about the art.
Yeah, I do worry though.
I will keep my mouth shut then. But
too late.
But sorry.
I'm googling it.
But Austin Wintory is great too, with the Journey soundtrack and Banner Saga soundtrack and all that. And I've obviously had on this channel, as we know, I've had him, and I've had John Everest who did the BattleTech soundtrack, and I've had Darren Korb who did the Bastion soundtrack. But it's so good. Yeah, I really think that music is an enormous factor that can really not make or break a game, but I think pushes it over the level from good to great. Some of the soundtrack work on we were just talking about the Final Fantasy series really, I think, pushes that up to the next level, and there are just numerous examples of that. So anyway, and when you don't have a good soundtrack for something, it really makes a difference. Yeah, Lunar Silver Star Story was a good original soundtrack too. I played that. Yeah.
I was having a good day until now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Terry. Yeah, that happened a while ago.
Read a headline and I'm like, why?
Not good. I know. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's
But that was last year. How do I only now?
Last year, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, and it was funny too because I had talked to him a little bit about the possibility of him showing up in the channel, and I'm glad that didn't end up happening. But yeesh is all I can say about that. Final Fantasy XIV has a good soundtrack. Is that true, or are you trolling? Because I haven't played Final Fantasy XIV, so I cannot say if it does or not. I was actually just
Chrono
listening.
Trigger has a great soundtrack.
Chrono Trigger has a great sound. Actually, Chrono Cross.
Yes,
Incredible.
I just was waiting for that every time I mentioned Chrono
Because
Trigger.
it's so
You're like,
good.
actually,
Because it's
Chrono
so
Cross.
good. Because it's so good. But no,
Every
Chrono
time.
Trigger soundtrack is absolutely great. I don't deny that. Yeah, and it's an MMO, so you won't play it, but the soundtrack is amazing. Oh, okay, so you're not trolling. I mean, I play an occasional MMO. I just have, I just have so little room for it because there's so many things to play that have ends to them, and then new beginnings and stuff, So, but exactly right, Triffid. When you hear a soundtrack again later, it can take you right back into the mood. Oh, for sure. I mean, just the victory music from Final Fantasy VII alone is just enough to put a smile on my face. So, yeah, I love that stuff. Or, Legend of Zelda, when it's reimagined as well by artists like Super Guitar Bros or whatever, a lot of that stuff is really, really amazing. They did Castlevania soundtrack is iconic. Yeah, well, Guild Wars 2, I think, is Jeremy Soule. Again, so like, that's that. So, and then of course, how could we get this far without mentioning the Witcher 3 soundtrack, which is amazing. And different, unusual. It's a little bit different because it's more flavored with Eastern European textures than the typical, very strongly Western European feel of a lot of these things. So anyway, okay, on we go. So we are here. We are with our character Conan, no relation to Conan. Conan has, at the moment, 19 out of 20 stamina. Conan as well has luck equals fate. I guess we don't have any more of that. We have at the moment this inner force, I believe is what that is. Let me double check because I don't actually remember. Inner force.
We are a Jedi.
We are Jedi. We have 3 shuriken.
Well, I guess we're more of a Sith considering how to draw this character, but sure. Go on, sorry.
You're making them more Sithy as time goes on. We have iron sleeves, a breathing tube, a garrote. We have flash powder, flint and tinder, spiderfish. We currently have, we can call on Quan, our god, once. We've died twice. And we have several skills. We have shuriken jutsu, we have acrobatics, we have picking locks, detecting and disarming traps, and escapology. And if you may remember in our last session, we had to escape from almost certain death by slipping out of this trap. And I think it was actually Evel Marinin, who was the one who suggested that we take escapology as a result. So that was the deal. Yep, it's true, Iscariot.
I guess he's not... Is he here? I don't know.
I don't think so at the moment.
That means he does have band practice today. It was like not clear if he would be having band practice today, but apparently he has.
Apparently he does. So yeah. So that's the deal with that. And we have managed to get this stuff here. We have defeated the creature that had one of these that was guarding our way. It was a very rough fight, but we won it, and we have slain a so-called immortal, thus delivering orb from one of the beasts which roamed the world before man came from the stars. Breathing deeply but silently, you pass by the fallen hulk and up a narrow tunnel, at the end of which is an opening to the sky, blocked by a grill in the ceiling. You brace your back against one wall of the tunnel, and with your feet against the other, edge your way up to the ceiling where you lift the grill and throw it aside. You climb out onto the grass beyond the moat. You have escaped from Quenchheart Keep, at least for the moment. As you consider which way to turn, you hear the baying of bloodhounds and the yelps of war dogs. Will you skirt the castle and run towards the Goblin's Teeth Mountains that tower above it, run south towards the Sea of the Star, or head for the city of Durath Glennon? So let me show you the map right now so you get a better idea of what this looks like. I'm going to try to zoom in if I can. So, right now, we just got out of Quenchheart Keep. Let me increase it even more. We just got out of Quenchheart Keep, and you can see that I have it right there, right in the middle, basically, of that little window that you see me moving the map around. There's Quenchheart Keep. So what the game's asking us to do is, do we want to go towards the Goblin Teeth Mountains, which are directly to the north of it? Do we want to run south towards the Sea of the Star? Or do we want to head for the city of Durath Glennon, which is right next to the Sea of the Star? And we're being pursued by bloodhounds and war dogs. And overall, our goal is to get to the Island of Tranquil Dreams. And I believe that is... see if I can find where the... Let's see if I can find where that is. the track I don't actually know where that is, but I think we have to get over the Sea of Stars one way or the other eventually, I think. But as far as the best way to do that, I don't know. So we've got dogs pursuing us, bloodhounds, so we have to think about what the best option is. So, while you ponder that, I'm going to set up my little poll here. Our first one of the day.
My little poll.
Poll of the day. Where should we go? Do we run goblins? Run towards the Goblin Teeth Mountains.
From when is this book, by the way?
I want to say 1985, but I will check that in a minute and let you know. Sea of the Star, or so head for the city of Druath Glennon, run south towards the Sea of Stars, or do we run towards the Goblin's Teeth Mountains? I shall open that poll. All right, chat, you know how this works. Get your votes in. $ vote space and then the number. Are we running towards the Goblin Teeth Mountains, or are we running south towards the Sea of the Star, or are we heading for the city of Druath Glennon? And I will show you all the map here. I'm going to remove the artwork for just a moment. There we go. So you can now see it. So do we head south or north? What are we doing? And it's $ vote is all one word, Iscariot. And then space and then the number. Let's get our votes in, chat. As far as when this book came out...
How do I know the name Iscariot?
Iscariot? Hold on a second. 1985. That's what I thought. Thank you, thank you. What's up, iShield? Just space before the number, though. $ vote space and then the number. Yeah, it's Judas Iscariot.
Ah, yes. It's like somebody's last name.
Yep. Semi-important in world history.
I was like gonna reply with, but like we don't know if like stuff in the Bible is actually historically accurate, but like that doesn't matter because it mattered historically to people, so
right,
the statement still holds
and there
true.
were some. I mean, they think it's pretty likely that there was historically a Jesus and a Judas, regardless. They just don't know what the details are, you know, about other things. But let's see.
But that's just a theory. A religion theory.
A religion
Thanks
theory.
for watching.
All right.
Like, share, subscribe.
Slam that like button. And,
yes.
I can't believe that people actually... I went on and I found a couple of videos just that I happen to be watching that literally are, you know, hammer that like button. I'm like, really? You really talk the way that people make fun of you for talking?
Well, I mean, that comes from somewhere, right?
Hammer that like button. I guess so, but I don't know what the original that it came from. But like, even so, why would you? I mean, now it's a meme, it's a joke. Like, smash that like button. Like, why would you play into the joke when you don't mean to make it a meme? You know.
I don't know.
Just crazy. My first D&D character was a dark paladin who was betrayed by his order. I think we talked about that before, Iscariot, and that's why. But that's where that's where it comes from, because Iscariot, the betrayal, and paladin. I see. Okay, so we are going to last call this. We have 3 votes. Run south towards the Sea of Stars. Last call, last call.
Do you think Judas was a snail?
A snail?
Yeah, because Iscariot kind of sounds like escargot. So, like when you write it out.
Yes.
Yes.
Judas crickets. No, I'm just kidding. Now I have this image of like a snail betraying its friends. So it's escargot yet. Now. The puns. Oh yeah. Listen, you should know the drill by now, Iscariot. The puns. The dark algorithmic god demands it. Well, that could very well be true, iShield. You could very well be right about that. Okay. I am going to close the poll. And there we go. So we are going to run south towards the Sea of Stars. All right, let me fix this map. Fix the map, put it in its right spot, and put back the amazing artwork, which is the whole reason for the season, as they say. Okay, so Sea of the Star. You set off, judging the way south by the salt smell of the southerly wind, which you battle against with a powerful economic stride that eats up the miles. The cries of the dogs change as they are set free on your trail. The bloodhounds track your scent on the wind, but it is the war dogs you fear as the first grayness of dawn creeps towards you. You are in sight of the sea when the barking of the dogs changes. You have been sighted. If you sprint, you can reach a gaunt, wind-blasted tree which will cover your back. Or if you wish to stay where you are and try something else, you can do that. So, this one I'm not going to put in chat because it's just a choice of two. Are we going to sprint to reach the tree so it can cover our back? Or do we wish to stay where we are and try something else? Iscari was a chef who prepared the last meal, but it can only cook snails. Exactly. Okay, Iscari, it says stay. Anyone else? This is good music for this. Alright, Iscariot says stay. iShield says go for the tree. Who else? Do we stay where we are or do we run for the tree, chat? Stay where we are doesn't mean just stand there idiotically. It means we're going to try something else. So do we try something else or do we go for the tree? I'm tied 1-1. I need someone to break this tie. Who shall break this tie? Who will it be? Stay and throw snails at the dogs. Suddenly we have snails. Suddenly our conversation has crossed over into the game, and we now have snails in the game. You've been distracted by etymology? That's fine. That's fine, Triffin. What do you think, though? Are we bolting for the tree, or are we staying where we are and trying something else?
What I really like about this art program is that doing screen tones is so easy and like so majorly adjustable.
What's the new? Is that a new art program?
Oh no, that's the one I've been using for a long time now.
But it's just another one of those. It's so cool that it does this.
It's Clip Studio Paint.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my daughter started using. I don't know if it was Clip Studio Paint, but she started using something with her tablet that she has. She got a, I forget which one, but a cheap Wacom. We got for her, and yeah, she's been liking it. She still prefers on paper drawing, but she uses it for some things, which is cool. So it looks like running. So last call. We have 2 for run for the tree, 1 for do something else, and that's interesting, Triffin.
Run for your lives.
Get to the chopper. Get to the tree line. Going once. Going twice. All right. Here we go. You reach the tree just as 4 war dogs rush at you. They are like black wolves with viciously spiked collars and claws tipped with steel. That sounds bad. Will you kick or punch as they rush at you? All right, Chad, what are we going to do? Kick or punch?
Do you actually know what the... where the spiked dog collars come from? Like, where they are a thing?
Where the... I'm sorry, the what? It does?
Spiked dog collars. Why they are a thing, where they exist.
I do not. I know that I've seen them, but I don't know where they come from.
Based on what I read online once, so take this with a grain of salt.
Must be true, therefore.
Is that it comes from shepherd dogs, because if they have to protect the sheep from wild wolves, and wolves tend to go first for the throat of their opponent. So with the spiked collars, they can't get to the throat of the dog and instead
Oh.
hurt themselves.
Yeah, and a Coven guy said to protect dogs from wild animals. Wow. Okay. I did not know that. Okay, so punch or kick. Triffid says punch is faster, kick is stronger. With multiple opponents, I say punch. Iscariot says punch. Dragon Spear says resub with Prime for 40 months. Thank you, Dragon Spear. Thank you very much, Dragon. I appreciate it. Eye Shield says punch. Punch, punch, punch. Any other punches or kicks? Now's your chance. Thank you, Dragon. I appreciate it, man. Okay. So it looks like we're going with punch. All right. You drive your fist into the skull of one of the war dogs, cracking it, but a second grabs your wrist in its jaws. As you try to shake it off, you are knocked to the ground by another and your throat is torn out. The bloodhounds wait until the war dogs have finished with your carcass before eating their fill. Welp. Death count 3.
Wah,
I
wah, wah.
Yep. Well, my goodness. Apparently you don't punch dogs. Apparently you should kick dogs, and you shouldn't even do that. That was a fast stream. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. No, we have a save point, fortunately. At 3:09, we have a save point, thankfully. But that was... wow. Okay. When we last met our hero, before they had their throat torn out, we had escaped from Quenchheart Keep. So again, we were thinking about whether we were going to... the entire branch is filled with death. It's possible, Ice Shield. Yeah, it's possible. So, knowing what we know now, will we skirt the castle and run towards the Goblin's Teeth Mountains, a tower above it, so going to the north? Will we run south towards the Sea of the Star, or will we head to the city of Druath Glennon? Now remember, the city of Druath Glennon is on the shore of the Sea of the Star, but it's a specific place, so it's not just run towards the sea, it's actually heading for the city directly. So, I will throw that up there again. I think I may still have that, actually. I'm just going to put the same post up there. There it is. So run towards the Goblin Teeth Mountains, which is north. Run south towards the Sea of the Star, which is what we just did. Or head for the city of Druath Glennon. Just got the throat torn out. Dun, 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 dun. Never punch a war dog. Dun, dun, dun. Hit the skull with your foot. Dun, 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 dun. I think this is clearly the music that was necessary. Yeah, it should be $ vote Triffid. Realized I should have the map down. And I should have that up. There we go. Lovely. Alright, I'm going to last call this. I'm going to last call this. Last call, last call. I love the action lines.
Thank you. Which is also one of the very, very nice features this program has. They are very easy to make and very adjustable. And just all over.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Super cool. This is what we wished had happened with Conan, as opposed to having a war dog tear out our throat. That was worse. All right, it looks like people are going to go with this one. So we're going to head for the city of Druath Glennon, as opposed to having our throat torn out. It seems like a wise choice. You cover the many miles to Druath Glennon in a few hours, arriving soon after the peasants have begun their day's work harvesting in the fields. Just inside the city gates, nestling among the wooden houses with their brightly painted balconies, is the Hydra's Heads Inn. If you would like to, do you want to go in and order breakfast after the rigors of your night raid on Quenchheart Keep? Or do you want to continue along, I just report, you decide, Bunghole Road, towards the quarters of the well-to-do. So, are we going to go into the inn, Hydra's Head's Inn, or are we going to head towards the quarters of the well-to-do along Bunghole Road? Now is the time to make your decision, chat. And I'm not going to take, it's where they make barrels. I would hope so, Rudno. But, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Go ahead and get your vote in. And this is just a binary vote, so I'm not going to put up the vote here. So just in chat, tell me, do you want to go towards into the Hydra Head Inn or along Bunghole Road? What's it going to be? Well, the road is tempting. I'm going to vote for Hail Hydra. Hydra. Bunghole Road because Beavis and Butthead. Hail Hydra. So we have 3 votes for Hail Hydra. I don't know whether to be troubled or not that everyone's like, oh yeah, Hydra. That's that's definitely what we want, is Hail Hydra. Okay, so it looks like last call, unless there are any other votes here. We're going to head into Hydra's Head Inn unless we get other votes. Otherwise... Okay. Here we go. It looks like the inn. In the inn, you sit down to a most appetizing meal, but later, as you rise to pay, 2 monks of the Order of the Scarlet Mantis vault the bar and 5 others enter by the main door behind you. They worship Vile, the evil brother of your god Quan, and a message has reached them that Yaman, Grandmaster of Flame, lies dead by your hand. I mean, more or less by our hand. Each one of them would gladly die to avenge him, and they attack fearlessly. You could either be a skilled acrobat, and we do have that ability, and somersault over their heads, have the skill of poison needles, but we do not have that, or give battle. So do we, again, there are, let me just choose, so there's 7 people. So do we vault over their heads using acrobatics, or do we try to fight these 7 people? Vault, I say acro. Okay, acrobatics, vault, acrobatics, vault, acrobatics. Hey, what's up, Rising Tides? Good to see you, man. How are you? Okay, sounds good, sounds good. Going once, going twice. We agree on aerial acrobatics. Yeah, I mean, like, that's, you know, it's just cool, right? Okay. You wait in fighting stance until one lunges at you before launching yourself in a high double somersault over his head. In full slow-mo. I don't know, I made that part up. You land running and are out of the door before they can grab you. You sprint past the city gates towards an apple orchard and ducking and weaving between the trees in an effort to lose your pursuers. You decide to turn to the north and the Goblin's Teeth Mountains, guessing that this is the direction of escape that they would deem most unlikely. As you approach the mountains, you hear the baying of hounds. As you climb into the foothills, the note of the hounds' baying changes. They have been set free on your trail. The going is tough as you climb into the mountains, but you know that if you reach a rock face, you can climb away from all pursuit, for a while anyway. You are struggling towards a wall of dark rock, illumined in the first rays of a gray dawn, when the ground shifts suddenly beneath your feet, and you are tumbled down a tunnel. Well, crap. There is a grinding noise as the stone trapdoor above you moves back into place. You light a torch. I'm well. It's fitting you're still playing this book because much like a ninja is never here, meaning I should be working right now. Absolutely. Rising Tides, I think any votes that you cast for the rest of this session will be taken and cheerfully counted, but then we'll immediately forget who cast the vote. So I think, just like a ninja, your work is safe.
Who are you talking to? I don't see anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I was just myself. I don't know. You light a torch which shows that you are in a narrow tunnel. You climb up to the trap door, but it is too heavy for you to move. Descending to the tunnel once more, you have no choice but to follow its meandering down into the depths beneath the Goblin's Teeth Mountains. Ooh, dramatic. Goblin's Teeth Mountains. Your torch spits as you pace silently along the tunnel. Yeah, I know, I shouldn't be talking to myself. I know, it's true, Dragon. My imaginary friend. Your torch spits as you pace silently. You're speaking to the wind or a blade of grass floating in the wind. Agreed, yes. Your torch spits as you pace silently along the tunnel, the edges of which are chipped and cracked. It must have taken the work of many hammers to mine, but little care has been taken to smooth the walls. After a while, your sharp ears catch the hum of chattering voices, and a vague smell of offal reaches you. There is a glow cast on the tunnel wall ahead from what must be a large opening. You inch your way towards it. Do you wish to look through the opening, or hurry quickly past? And also, I see the picture now that Terry's making. I love it.
Thank you.
Are you going to have the punch harmlessly passing above them for no reason? Like just...
No, I think I'm just going to do the dogs for this one.
That sounds good. So what's it going to be, chat? Look through the opening or hurry past? I say look. Look, look, look. iShield says hurry past. Okay? 3 votes for look, 1 vote for hurry past. A mysterious invisible figure gone as soon as they post their comment says look. Okay. Oh, by the way, I should mention, since Rising Tides was never actually here, but I should mention that if Rising Tides were here, I'm sure that he would be as proud as I am to say that we actually got an additional donation from from Brandon Crilly, who actually writes for Blackgate and is a friend and is an author in Canada, and a lot of people like Brandon. But Brandon Crilly actually donated another $50 to the cause of the Soundclash fundraiser. So we ended up in the end with $450 and no, more than that. Sorry, $470.23. So after fees, it's less than that, obviously. But the point is, we raised almost $500 for the Soundclash fundraiser, which is great. So I'm very, very happy, and thank you for all of those who were able to support it. And I think you'll see a pretty badass video introduction as a result of your support, and introduction and outro, which will be worthy of that campaign. And hopefully we'll be able to start making some progress towards possibly an audio sound version of that too. So yeah, it was cool. I was really happy to see that. So, sadly, there is no slipping on the One Ring Dragon, unfortunately. Okay, so we are going to look. That is, as soon as I can find it. Uh-oh, I completely lost my place. Hold on, I'll find it.
But you still
okay, here we go.
Haven't found what you're looking for.
Couldn't check out the stream live, was happy to contribute, which I'm very grateful, as I've been for all of your support as well. Yeah, I was just really, really happy to see it. It's a good campaign, Brandon. It's obviously an excellent GM, and it's a good group of players, and I'm proud to be able to host that on the channel, and hopefully more to come like that. Okay, so the opening is at the edge of a huge cavern. A fire burns 50 feet away, and in its light you make out dozens of dark, bent-limbed beings chattering and squabbling amongst themselves. They are goblins, but there are too many to guess their number in the darkness of the cavern. You draw back, but not before a sharp-eyed little nipper squeals and points at you. Her mother turns to silence her with a slap, but catches sight of your torch as you slip past the opening, and soon there is a hue and cry behind you. Well, crap. Alright, we're running from goblins. I guess that's not surprising in the Goblin's Teeth Mountains. The tunnel bends downward, and a set of steps leads on ahead. You hurry down them into a cave with a great square of rough-hewn rock at its center. Beyond the rock is a precipice, so deep that your torch cannot light its bottom. A tunnel leads on beyond the cave. Do you wish to examine the rock, or do you wish to hurry past the precipice?
Oh, wow, the rock? Ask him for an autograph.
Exactly. Are you going to examine the rock? Can you smell what he's cooking? Can you examine the rock? Or, since the rock officially came out and interviewed Biden and Kamala Harris and endorsed them and said they were great, plus he plays Maui in Moana. Pretty much, he's a good guy. Yes. Hi. You're waiting for it to print? Okay.
Oh, who's there? I didn't see.
It is Little Arv is here.
Oh, hi. Oh,
TariToons
wait,
is
I don't have a camera. I was waving at my screen, and I'm like, wait,
drawing
this
is
is not
waving
Lord
at
of
you.
the Rings. I don't have a camera for this.
Arudinel, Triffid says hi. They all say hi. She's printing out her geography work, I think. No? What are you printing out?
Does it take for notes?
Oh.
What is she printing? I didn't understand.
Okay. Here's more. We'll get her in just a second. Also, Mrs. Arv, the entire family. It's not geography, it's actually work on her Africa class. So, okay, so it looks like.
Africa class.
Yeah,
Is
she
that
has.
from geography class or what?
No, it's more than that. It's different aspects of Africa and culture as well. There's a thing called OutSchool, which is kind of like a. They have a variety of classes that are taught by experts in their fields, and so obviously Little Arv is doing homeschooling this year because of the pandemic. So I am doing English and history. Mrs. Arv behind me is doing geography and science. And we have a math tutor for her, and there's an OutSchool class that she's taking on Africa, and she's also taking voice acting with one Mr. Zach Clay. So,
Wow. No, like now I'm confused. Like,
okay.
are these part of like a regular? Is that called English curriculum?
No,
Word?
she
Am I
no.
using that word right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're right. No,
okay.
she goes to a normally she goes to a school called Blue Rock, which is K through 8. But she because of the situation, you know, we didn't feel comfortable sending her this year. So instead, we are homeschooling her for 1 year, and then hopefully, assuming everything is rational and normal, we will go back to a more rational, normal school environment. But it'll also depend on our moving situation and all that kind of good stuff. So.
What does your wife do for a living again?
She's the therapist. She has a private
okay.
practice. So yeah.
I guess you guys are more than qualified to do homeschooling.
Yeah, she's well, thank you. She is she's especially the science part. I mean, the math tutor, my wife a little bit. I certainly would in no way be qualified, quite obviously, to be teaching math.
But you are a literature professor.
I think I'm kind of
that has
qualified to
count
teach
for something.
I think I'm qualified to teach English. Yes. Both. So we're doing actually both literature, like middle grade and somewhat higher books. So she's actually doing Sal and Gabby Fix the Universe right now by Carlos Hernandez. But she did the Phantom Tollbooth, and then she's got a set of books coming up that are going to be really cool as well. So we're doing that, and then also creative writing. So she's been doing stories. She's going to be working on writing a script as well for me later on. So she's doing a modified version of my creative writing class. And then we're doing history, and she was interested in the history of conflict. So we've actually been going over conflict and how that ties into history. We've done the Akkadians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians. We did ancient Egypt. We did Greece and Rome. And we did Mongolia and China, and just did the Vikings last time. So it's very exciting. She's able to get conflict, sadly, ties into a number of things, but it's also about ways to avoid conflict and war and things like that. So yeah, it's cool.
Interesting.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Well, yeah, like the Mongolian, listen, it is impressive how much empire the Mongolians had. Like, it is really impressive. So, okay, sorry
also
about that.
They're
So,
like the exception to everything, you know.
in some
All
ways,
your
they
fellow
really are.
crash course watchers.
That's yeah,
Is that
exactly. We always
Except
watch the
for
crash course
the
at the end of our sessions. We always do that because it's always a lot of fun. So, the history of their wars. No, I meant first of all, just as a reminder, folks. So we have We have rock and rock. So do you want to examine the rock or run past the precipice, chat? But as far as this is concerned, yeah, the history of conflict, the way that war sort of shaped these places. So, and the innovations that they provided in conflict. Sometimes, like, for example, one of the things that we've been working on is this idea of trends. And one of the big trends is, okay, and Rising Tide says run past. One of the big trends is...
It's trending.
It's trending. He's one of the biggest of trends. And the most awesome. But no, one of the big trends is the idea that the more trade that a society engages in, the less conflict is likely to result. And how when you have a large empire, in typical terms, the empire, the larger it spreads, the more difficult it is to maintain. That might seem obvious, but the interior of the empire doesn't usually figure that out until the exterior has already begun to crumble. And you see this with ancient Egypt. You see this clearly with the Roman Empire. You see this with elements of the various Chinese dynasties, although it's so fluid with the Chinese dynasties that it's a little bit hard to get a hold on sometimes because, and again, this is oversimplification, but the thing that you said about exceptions is that the Mongolians really, in a way, never had anything consistent about it because they just were so fast and so broad moving that they were able to cover a large area. And also the Mongolians were much more religiously tolerant than a lot of empires have been traditionally. So there was less rebellion going on in some ways because they were like, fine, whatever religion, we don't really care. And that made a big difference. Also, but that was a good thing. And they increased trade, also a good thing. A bad thing was that they also probably brought the plague to Europe because it was through the Silk Road, which the Mongolians enhanced substantially, that the plague was actually passed along. So
I see.
So good and bad. But anyway, it's been really interesting. Okay, so it looks like we're examining the rock. We have 2 people for run past, but I think we have 3 or 4 for examining the rock. So we are going to examine the rock. Okay. If you know for sure what type of creatures lives in these caves. We know what type of creatures live in these caves, chat. What lives in this cave?
Koalas.
Koalas. Interesting guess. That would be wrong. But thank you for...
Wombats.
Wombats do not live in this cave. Which creatures do we think we maybe know for sure live in these caves because of something which may have just happened? No. What are these random guesses, Batman? What are you talking about? Who lives in the Goblin's Teeth Mountains, chat?
Gollum. He lives in goblin-infested mountains. So.
Worms. I love how the names, too, are just like bats, sturges, dwarves, worms, owlbear, Batman. Yeah, this is great. These are great choices. A tiefling.
A tiefling?
Dwarves.
Like a tiefling, but with teeth?
Yeah, apparently.
God, thanks for that image.
A tiefling. Starts with G. Probably gnomes. All right, I'm going to ignore all the trolls who also do not live here, currently in chat.
Ooh.
Because it's very obvious. No. It is, in fact, the goblins. You run quickly to the rough-hewn block of... Babotep, yeah. You run quickly to the rough-hewn block of stone, and in the light of your torch, you can make something out carved into the gray rock. It looks like an amoeboid mass of jelly with globe-like tentacles and many eyes floating in its body. Eesh. The carving is crude, but the likeness is enough to suggest something truly hideous, and the eyes seem to claim your attention as you strain to see if one of them is moving to look at you. Your scalp crawls. A tiefling with molars for horns. Eesh. Sounds like something out of Pan's Labyrinth or something, Rising Tide. The carvings beneath it show that goblins sacrifice their own people to it in the absence of victims of other races. The evil fascination which the... Say again?
How silly goblins are people.
The evil... I don't even know. The evil fascination which the altar exercises over your spirit is broken by the raucous cries of goblins. What do those raucous cries sound like, Terry?
What?
The raucous cries of goblins.
What does raucous mean?
Oh, it means like out of control, like out of control, just like chaotic. Yeah, there you go. Raucous. There you go. 20 or so of them.
I don't know.
All of them expert artists, clad in greasy black leather armor and brandishing short stabbing swords, are running at you. If you are a skilled acrobat, and we are, turn to 181. That's good because otherwise we would have to somehow fight with our back to the precipice. You somersault over the heads of the short, crook-legged goblins and knock 2 to the floor before running on down the tunnel deeper into the mountain. All right. You can run faster than the bow-legged goblins, but neither the tunnels which are their home. They chose their very fastest goblins and slipped on soft shoes and ran after them in the dark. You turn a sharp bend and your torch shows a wooden doorway on your right. Will you open the door and slip through, hoping to evade your pursuers, or will you continue along the tunnel you're in? What do you think, chat? Are we going to open the door and slip through, or continue on along the tunnel? Being pursued by goblins.
Ugh. This is an awkward drawing.
I mean, the faces are terrifying, so...
Yeah, just like... Not used to drawing angry puppies.
That's true. I'm glad you resisted the temptation to make them into cute, yet vicious puppies. Like...
I was considering that, and then I was like, no.
That's funny. Okay. All right, looks like we've got door, continue down the tunnel, door, and door. 3 votes for door, 1 vote for open the tunnel. Okay. I like the spiky collars. I do too. And... all right, we're going to open the door. I feel like iShield has been generally correct on these because this entrance is going to perhaps create some problems. Dragonspear also says door. The door opens onto a tunnel which bends downward and sharply left. The air is musty and dank. The goblins are almost upon you and you decide to sprint down the tunnel. Hold on a second. Getting some weird... Hold on a second, I want to check my balance. Just...
Whoa!
Sorry. Wrong button. I apologize. Sorry. Wrong button.
Ow, that hurt!
Ow,
That
sorry.
Really?
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Ah!
Sorry, I apologize.
Mm.
I was looking for the pan button, is what I was trying to do. Ah, my ears. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. This is interesting. It's actually panning the opposite way. That's not a good sign. Unfollowing. I'm sorry. I apologize. I hit the wrong button. Forgive me. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself so I don't do that again. Give me 1 second.
Okay, guys. I guess now I have to entertain you on my own. Let me look at Le Chat. Wait, that's French for cat, isn't it? Lachat? Lichat? I don't know. I don't French. Okay, what are you guys talking about? The goblin screech has made us all deaf. Yes, indeed. Indeed. I mean, what? I can't hear what you're writing. My ears bleed, so... Also, I'm not sure what he was going on about the balance, because he sounded fine to me before he did that, so... Him just miming. I mean, if I was a trained voice actor, I would try and... Oh, I'm also muted. Hip. Nope. Oh, okay, cool.
More centered to me. Well, I guess that's pretty close now, actually. I guess that's
I
about
don't
right.
know if my headphones should do stereo. Oh, these are surround sound headphones, actually.
Oh.
Of course they can do stereo.
Well, then-
I just remembered, wait, I'm wearing my new new-ish headphones that I
There you
bought a
go.
few months ago. And I was like, wait, these can do surround sound. But
And just switch
I
to Sony
wouldn't.
earbuds. Yeah, well, there's also, I don't know whether it's this or whether it's the microphone, because the thing is that my sound of the music actually sounds fine, and Terry sounds fine. It's my
Of
microphone.
course I sound fine. I sound amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really don't know if I can follow the whiplash of these. I have to be in my own room because I don't like talking to people, followed by, of course I sound amazing. Like what? I can't. The latter is
Well,
true,
I mean,
not
just
the former.
because I don't have anything interesting to say
I see.
doesn't mean that I can't have like a beautiful, gorgeous voice that is just
When
like,
you're not saying whatever it
silk,
is that you don't know what to
silk
say.
to the eardrums or something.
Yes.
I have such a pleasant voice, don't I?
This was the raucous cry that I was talking about before. So, yeah, exactly. All right, well, if it doesn't sound any different to chat, then I'll just have to figure that out later on. Also, I have to get a new boom thing for this too. I don't know. I'll have to I have things to think about. We will see. Ugh. Anyway, so where was I? We were doing stuff. It was the connection between the two sides, the Logitech. Yeah, I don't know. It was like I love these headphones. And I, in general, have felt really good about. I felt really good in general about how all of these work. But okay, I'm just panning it over now to make sure. But it's just like just use a boom sound effect. Yeah. Mostly, the real thing is that eventually, at some point, I'm going to switch over to to what is essentially a. No, I'm not getting any sound over there. Okay, is some kind of like a shotgun mic, but I'm not sure if I want to do that because the problem with a shotgun mic is it doesn't have the same kind of resonance. And like I take pride in my audio quality. I do not take pride in my hat repeatedly hitting this rig, but. It would be something to get this out of my face, and then I could have it up here so that it's actually out of the screen altogether. But I like this microphone setup, so I don't know. Anyway, I'll have to think about it. Where was I? I was working on stuff. Yes, we were talking about whether we were doing this. What's up, Geister? Are those kobolds, cats, or goblins? Those are goblins, even though chat was relentlessly convinced they weren't going to prove anything different.
Oh, here's a thing. When I started playing D&D, like way back when I was like, God, when was the first time I played Baldur's Gate? Oh God, I think I was like 11 or 12.
Okay.
Jesus. But yeah, like the first time I played that in English, that was Baldur's Gate 2, I think. And I was really confused when kobolds were mentioned because in kobold, in German, which is a German word, is a gnome.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like what, yeah, like...
That's
you probably
interesting.
read the We Free Men by Terry Pratchett, right?
Yes.
Yeah, those are kobolds.
Kobolds.
By German standards.
Oh,
like,
wow. That's interesting. Yeah, because that's not, I would
so
never
I was
have thought
like
of
really confused when I learned like they're like tiny dragon lizard people. Like, what?
And you've read the gnomes, like what do you call them? The books, right? The the books that are actually just called gnomes that look like little garden gnomes, like with the tall red hats and
those
white...
are dwarves.
Right, but see that in America they're gnomes. Like those are.
Yeah, I know, for
yeah.
like extra confused, but those are in German called dwarves.
Those are called dwarves. Yeah, so it's
Zwerge.
just. Oh man.
Like gnomes, like it really depends on where in like the German, vaguely German-speaking sphere you are. Like they have like different names, but basically a gnome or kobold in German is house ghost. Like in
House
Cologne,
ghost.
we have like Heinzelmännchen, for example. That's like a very famous story. Those would be considered kobold.
Oh, interesting.
Or gnomes.
So it's just like, yeah, and of course, like,
it's really confusing.
And don't get people started on the difference between on fairies and like the fae folk, and then what people think of as like Tinkerbell, Peter Pan like fairies, which is a different thing. It's so. And then there's bronies and the brownies. We were talking about bronies earlier, Geister. It's funny you mentioned that. So Terry's just making up words now. I love David the Gnome. Okay, anyway.
Oh yeah, that is in. Oh God, what is he in German? I have to check. I know the Dutch name. That's Kabouter. David the Kabouter.
What the hell is David the Gnome? I've never heard of this. What is David the Gnome?
It's a. Oh God, don't let me lie. Spanish kids book. I'm not sure. Is it? I know it's European. I think it's from Spain. I don't remember. And there was like a TV show and everything.
Am I going to make them mad? I don't know, Geester. It was an old cartoon.
Oh, in German it's also David der Kabouter, which is weird because Kabouter is a Dutch word. But
David the Gnome is a kids' TV show. I've never heard of this.
It's actually a kids' book originally. But
wow. Yeah. Does anyone remember the
David and
Spain. Anyone remember the David and Goliath? The David and Goliath claymation show that used to be on kids' show? Goliath was the dog, and the dog was always like, "Well, Davy, I don't know if I." He had this very deep voice, and it was basically like it was done in the style of like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. If you know that show's kind of animation, but yeah, David and Goliath. Well, Davy.
That does not ring a bell.
Yeah, back in the day, Davy and Goliath. Yep. Okay. Anyway, the door opens onto a tunnel which bends downward and sharply left. The air is musty and dark. Sorry, not dark, dank. The goblins are almost upon you, and you decide to sprint down the tunnel. It turns, getting narrower and narrower as it spirals down into the bones of the mountain, until you are suddenly faced with a dead end. You turn, but before you can race back up the tunnel, a barbed metal grill slabs from ceiling to floor, trapping you. The goblins stand on the other side, gloating and cackling gleefully. After a while, they leave you, and a trickle of water reaches your feet. The water is being brought to the top of the tunnel by hundreds of goblins in whatever soiled vessels they can find. There is no way out. The water level rises, and all you can do is decide to call upon your god, Quan the Redeemer, to save you. Well, fortunately, we have Quan the Redeemer to save us. You are suddenly at the center of a brilliant globe of silver light. Quan has answered your prayer, and you float into another plane, passing through the rock walls as if they were no more substantial than webs of gossamer. Wonder if Quan would do us a solid and bring us all the way to the Isle of Tranquil Dreams. That'd be great. Your god does not talk to you. Well, okay. You are conscious of a feeling of ancient and powerful malevolence. Your hopes are dashed, and when you feel the glowing light is forced away from you by some ancient evil, and you are still below ground instead of beneath the calm blue sky. As you walk along in the ghostly light which seems to come from the rocks themselves, a feeling of grim foreboding wells up within you. Quan has saved you from death, but you know that you will be called upon soon to repay your death. You may not ask Quan for salvation again until you reach the island of Tranquil Dreams. Well, he saved us, but that's it. Turning a corner, your torch half lights a repellent and terrifying sight. Let's hear what this repellent and terrifying sight is. Let's see. Ooh, there's actually a picture for this. And it's not a good picture. It's one of those sad, oh god, no pictures. So we can no longer call on Quan. Let's take a look. Look at Terry making a bunch of baby Yodas for us. It's really, really cool.
Oh, by the way, I finally watched Mandalorian, like the first season.
Isn't it great?
It is really good, yeah. I was like, yeah, of course R fucking loves this.
100%.
Of course he does.
Yeah. So good. Oh man. But I mean, like legitimately, like I just think really well shot. The, solid acting from everybody. And really cool characters. So, yeah. All right.
I just think it like very much has like the vibe of like the original trilogy down, which I think is like the main selling point. Like,
that's the big thing.
Has a feeling.
Even to the extent of using props and costumes from the originals, like even the sort of feel of it. So,
also, the characters are just so good. Like
yeah, well, Queel and stuff is so.
Like it's such a simple plot. Like the plot is like you can sum that up in like 10 words and get everything across. But like it's so. Like this show really shows like how irrelevant a good plot can be if you just execute it well enough.
That's right. Yep.
Like you don't need to have like the most original or best idea. And like I think also because like the original trilogy drew like very much from like Akira Kurosawa and so on.
Yes.
And, like, contemporary.
Like literally, Seven Samurai is one of the like feels and
like,
everything.
that really shines through. Like I have the feeling like I'm watching some really old movie, like not because like of it looks bad or anything. No, it's just like the feeling is there, you know?
Yep. Exactly. Well, I think also, and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni really, like, Filoni is basically Lucas's kid. Like, I mean, for all intents and purposes, like, he basically is the heir to George Lucas. So all the stuff that he brings in is going to be well connected to it. And yeah, I love it. I also love the fact that it's got an episodic quality, so it's not all just one enormous arc. Like, I like the big arcs too in these series, but it doesn't always have to be that way. And I like the fact that sometimes it's just like a monster of the week thing, and then sometimes it's also got the larger arc too, but it's not just always big story after big story. So I really admire it, and its craftsmanship. I'm glad that you watched it. That means I'll be able to bring up things and you won't be like, what? So
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to find this picture, but I can't seem to find it in here. So that's fine. I will simply show chat then. I will go to the main screen for just a moment to do this. You see... never mind this part. You see that.
I need to check the stream to see that. Slightly blurry.
Yeah.
Is that just my
There we go.
connection?
Now it's a little better. So that basically is
Appetizing.
half a goblin's body over what I'm about to describe. So, a goblin missing its legs and lower body dangles at the foot of a plated vine. Let me go back to the other thing. There we go. Dangles at the foot of a plated vine, which is knotted around its neck. Its head is covered by a hood of purple leather. Without spoiling it, is the Mandalorian set. The Mandalorian is set right after Return of the Jedi. Coven. So not right, I mean within days, but
there's
several
it's
months
like
after.
sometime between episode 6 and 7.
Right.
Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But
like not
after
right
Return of the
after
Jedi.
episode 6. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it's not like years later though. It's
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. It isn't, because of the description of what happens in season. I can't tell you about it, but season 2, you find out the details of it. It's not years and years after. Definitely not. The remember, it's on the Outer Rim, so a lot of stuff that people like, the fact that they're like, what are Jedi and all that. That's partly because it's Outer Rim, where a lot of that stuff doesn't even show up at the same time. So yeah. So it's between 6 and 7. So yeah, it's not weeks after. I mean, it's later than that, but it's not years and years. So, but that's the thing behind it, basically. It might be like a year, maybe afterwards. That could be. So anyway, its head is covered by a hood of purple leather, which from your study of folklore denotes a goblin's sacrifice to one of their gods. Below it is what looks like a pool of black bubbling lava, 20 feet across. Its edges are distended into tongue-like legs. Yeah, basically a Iscariot, that's right. And several pale green eyes quiver in the black jelly of its body. You are looking at a primordial terror, a relic from the day when every living thing on the world of Orb crept on its belly, long before the time of the elder gods. As you stare in stupefied fascination, one of the green lidless eyes floats into a tongue of matter which inches towards you. The primordial terror uses the eldritch power of its thoughtless mind to hold you still until it can envelop you. You can think clearly even though you are rooted to the spot. Will you try to spur yourself to action by dwelling on the grisly fate that awaits you? Will you force yourself to disbelieve in the apparition before you, knowing that if it is an illusion, it will disappear? Will you recite the Ninja Covenant, which is Ninja no Chigiri? Or will you call upon your god Quan the Redeemer? Well, we can't do that because we already called upon Quan. So we either are going to escape, we either have to dwell on our grisly fate. I don't know about that. That sounds like basically just get ready to kill, be killed. Disbelieve in the apparition before you, knowing if it's an illusion it will disappear, or recite the Ninja Covenant, Ninja no Chigiri. So I'm going to post this up there. What should we do? Should we... Shinobi our way out. Let's see. When do we get an Old Republic series? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. A Mandalorian War series. You're going to get a Kenobi series first. And maybe you could maybe get another series related to a certain prominent character who shows up in a recent episode, but I won't talk about that in more detail. All right, what should we do, folks? Do we dwell on the grisly fate that awaits us, force ourselves to disbelieve in the apparition, or recite the Ninja Covenant? Ninja no Shigiri. What shall we do?
What is a covenant?
It is ninjas are great. Ninjas. I don't
No,
know.
not what is the covenant? What is a covenant? Like the
Oh,
word.
a covenant is like a it is like a ritualistic it's a recitation of verses, sort of like an oath that one would pledge. I believe only in the Redeemer. The Redeemer is my only God. I will not want that sort of thing. Yes, exactly. As I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay, now I have to check something.
Okay, this is perfect music for this. I'm glad we chose this soundtrack. Okay, 1 vote for force ourselves to disbelieve. 3 people want to recite the Ninja Covenant, because it is the Ninja Covenant.
I just don't know if I understand the word entirely. Like I was like, okay, that's like based on your description, I would like
a prayer, but it's like a
okay.
Yeah. It's like exactly what Geester said, or like a creed. We are a ninja, yes. It's like a creed or a prayer, the ritualistic prayer. In America, there's the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's the thing that, you know, at a certain time, kids were expected to say growing up. They are not required to say that anymore, but that was a thing at one time. So it's like a recitation like that. So in your case, it would be like, I am the cartoonist, the infinity and beyond, glory. Only Baldur's Gate will matter, metal for life, glory hammer is one, and one is glory hammer. Yeah, that would be something like that.
I see.
And cheese for all, you know.
Oh yeah, cheese for all.
Okay, sounds good, Coven.
No, just cheese for me.
Just cheese for you. Fear is the mind killer. I shall not. Yeah, that's a good one, Trippin. The Ninja Covenant is just Vanilla Ice's Go Ninja. Eye Shield, how could you stain the name of the ninjas with Vanilla Ice? Ugh.
What? The Go Ninja Go song is amazing, okay?
Ugh. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
All right.
Go.
So we are going to recite the Ninja Covenant. As the nameless horror threatens to engulf you, you mouth the words of the Covenant. When you reach the phrase... Actually, do we have the Covenant earlier so I can actually recite it? Where's the Covenant? Here we go. I will vanish into the night, change my body to wood or stone, sink into the earth and walk through walls and locked doors. I will be killed many times, yet will not die, change my face and become invisible, able to walk among men without being seen. Yeah. So this one is, when you reach the phrase, I will be killed many times, yet will not die, you were able to draw on the mental powers of your training as a ninja, and you can move again. Hell yeah. All right, so, chat, here are our choices. We could use a torch on the amorphous mass in front of us. We can't use a poison needle because we don't have that skill. So we can either use our torch on the mass in front of us or risk a great leap to swing on the plated vine that dangles the body of a goblin above it. So do you want to use the torch or do you want to try to leap to the vine? Some same people say it's praise Cthulhu. Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is awesome.
my boyfriend has been playing, oh god, what's it called again? Like that one MOBA with the mythology characters. Smite, that was the name.
Oh,
Smite,
Smite.
right. Okay,
Yeah.
and in Smite, apparently you can't play as the Ninja Turtles.
Really?
And when you do that, the theme song plays.
Are you kidding me?
And every time I hear that song, I'm like, wow, the English version of that song is so bad.
Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
Like the German version is so much better. Like, ugh.
I can't. I'm now imagining what the German version is. It's the same melody, right? It's the same.
Yeah, oh, it is. It is a cover, but it just sounds way better. I am gonna find you the link.
What's funny? Okay, so vines. So we said Iscariot says kill with fire, but acrobatics hasn't let us down yet. So Iscariot says acrobatics. Geester says fire. Ice Shield says make the leap. Triffid says acrobatics. Acrobatics has saved us. Of course, eventually we're gonna run the table too much. We're gonna go to the well too much and do that. But I think it's reasonable to try our acrobatic power. All right. So going once, going twice.
I shall post it in chat.
I'll be able to play about 5
like,
seconds.
if you are
of this.
confused about the name, blame the British for that one.
Blame the British for it? Let's see.
Yeah, because like when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out, the original cartoon, that was when the UK had like a thing about ninjas for some reason, like something like was violent or something. I don't know. Either way, in the UK it was renamed Hero Turtles instead of Ninja Turtles.
Well, the funny thing is that actually back in the day, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a countercultural, like, semi-sarcastic. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't at all this sort of...
I read the comic.
Yeah. So it's so funny to me that it ended up the way that it did, you know, in popular culture. But the whole, like, we love pizza and all that, like, I mean, that whole thing was a very different, you know, feel later on. Yeah, the original TNMT was quite violent, yes. And so there was even a beat-em-up video game, pretty well known in the arcades, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have to listen to that later. I've got about 5 seconds in. I can't play anymore. I'll get muted to hell. But I'm gonna listen to that later on.
Actually.
Say again.
I doubt it actually. Like
I don't know
about like German cartoon songs getting copyright claimed.
They might. I don't know. I feel like that would be even more terrifying if a German company was like, we are putting a strike in on you. I'd be like, I'm sorry. I apologize for ever crossing a German cartoon company or, you know, soundtrack company. Okay, we're going to make the jump. Your aching limbs are charged with adrenaline as you launch yourself towards the goblin's body, knowing that if you should fail to reach it, you will sink into the very being of the primordial one. You sail above the heaving black morass and your fingers cling onto the half-dissolved body of the goblin. Eey. As the nameless horror surges up towards you in a tidal wave of putrescent flesh, you haul yourself up the plaited vine and set it to swing gently, untying the goblin's body as you do so that you can pull the bottom of the vine up out of the reach of the primordial one. As the vine swings in an ever greater arc, you catch sight of a flight of stone steps leading upwards beyond the goblin's god. Letting go, you somersault through the air and drop near the bottom step. As you look back, the horror is feeding on the remains of the goblin, whose head is just disappearing below the heaving surface.
Delicious.
Woo! That was troubling, but we made it. You are now hopelessly lost in uncertain weather. In the darkness and the confusion of flight, you may have missed a tunnel which leads out of the mountain. The stairs lead upwards for what seems like an age and at last bring you to a crossroads. Gritting your teeth in tired determination, you opt for the opposite tunnel which continues upwards. At last you see a welcoming circle of daylight ahead, and your footsteps quicken without your even realizing as you smell the beautiful fresh air. When you emerge, you are high up on the far side of the mountains from Quenchheart Keep, and a great panorama of forests and wild lands rolls below you towards the valley of the Crow River in the far west. Hell yeah, we escaped the mountains, chat. Go, ninja, go. All right. I think that actually calls for a save point. I think that's a reasonable spot for a save point before we go on here. So... all right. You put several miles between yourself and the Goblin's Teeth Mountains before pausing to rest after the rigors you have endured. You are awakened from a deep sleep lasting a day and a night by light rain falling. Sorry, my Okay. By light rain falling. It is the beginning of a beautiful summer's day. You may restore up to 4 points of lost endurance. Hell yeah, or 1 point in our case. The Sea of the Star glitters in the occasional sunlight of the south, and you decide to continue west to the shore of the Endless Sea so that you may avoid crossing the Man March where you now have many foes that are men marching. No. The only beings of any interest that you espy are a few stocky mountain dwarves like small specks on a faraway hilltop. After 2 days' travel, you leave the woodlands behind and climb towards a line of conical hills. Towards the end of the day, an itching in your armpits becomes acute, and you notice unpleasant black swellings all over your chest. Yeesh. There's nothing you can do but continue on. I don't know what that all means. The map which you took from Yemen, Grandmaster of Flame, and let me show you all that map. Here we go. That we took from Yemen, Grandmaster of Flame, shows little details of these lands, so you decide to climb the tallest of the hills to spy out the lie of the land. The top of the hill is unusually flat. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, Triffid. Like, what do you mean? We have the plague? What does that mean? Before you reach the crest, you hear a shout of horror, but cannot see the man who uttered it. You move forward stealthily, and a strange sight greets your eyes. 4 young men leap to their feet in surprise as a ghostly, faceless figure in blackened, rusted mail, like a long-buried but preserved barbarian warlord, seems to drift above the ground towards them from the entrance of an ancient burial mound. One runs towards it, sword drawn. "No, Vespers, it will take your soul!" roars a priest in white. A third steps forward diffidently and casts a spell which causes a cloud of yellow glass to blossom around the fighter and the apparition, as a fourth man with a green shield and cloak, each bearing a white cross, hurls a warhammer. The man in white strides forward, whirling a flail of spiked chains, and the boiling fog of gas swallows all of them up, bar the magician who casts the spell. Will you run to help these people, or wait unseen and watch? Will you run to help them or watch, chat? All right, we have run to help, run to help. I also love the way that these goblins that you're putting together, Terry, are are in the same basic spot as the 2 dogs. So I have this image of the dogs just suddenly randomly becoming goblins, and that's like the whole book is just dogs, goblins. Okay, Ice Shield says run, Triffid says run, Iscariot Paladin says help, Dragonspear says run. Okay, we are all going to run, apparently, and help these innocent people against that terrible whatever it is. You can dimly see hunched figures in the fog of swirling gas. You leap in and immediately cough violently as the poisonous fumes invade your lungs, but you use your power of mind over matter to control the nausea that threatens to overwhelm you. You can dimly make out the man in white robes. He is almost helpless, the spiked chains of his flail stirring the gas ineffectually. Beyond him, the spirit of the barbarian lord, seemingly untroubled by the vapors, is about to attack with a sword that grows vividly in the fog. You pull the priest behind you and prepare to give battle. Will you punch, kick, or throw the warlord? All right, chat, what's it going to be? Oh, we have a picture of this. Here's the picture, chat. Cover that up.
Really, really hungry all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah? So there we go. Looking a little Nazgul-ish right there. Okay. So we have throw. We have throw. Oh, I should have asked. I should have put this in the vote chat, but I'll just let it. I won't bother to put up our thought for this one. Throw, throw, throw. Kick, punch, or throw. Okay, anyone else?
Went for a slightly Pathfinder-inspired look for these goblins and swings.
I noticed. Yep, I noticed that. We haven't had more than 6 in any vote. Yeah, not so much, I think. I think you're right, Triffid. Okay, so we are going to throw, and that means that we need to... means that I need to put up this creature. So, this is an undead warlord. Okay. It has an endurance of 14, and a damage is 1 die plus 2. Okay. 14. All right. Damage 1 die plus 2. So, we have to throw this creature. Now, again, as a reminder, when we do throws, and I think... yeah, I don't have to show you the throw here because it's just the same as what it would be. So, okay. So, the way you do this is... he told me you can use shuriken. Let me just confirm how I do the combat. Okay. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to roll 2 dice. So I need someone in chat to volunteer to roll dice, 2 6-sided dice, or to use the power of the Wizards of the Coast dice roller, which you can get online, and roll 2 dice there. And then you're going to add that number together. And the defense against this Teeth of the Tiger throw is 5. So we need a 5 or higher. So, is there a volunteer, please, to roll 2 dice for the benefit of chat? Can I have a volunteer?
Wait, is this the first time we have to get something for dice rolling, or am I missing something here?
Today it is, yeah. So far we have not had to do it. This is the first time today. Because we've been able to avoid combat. We've just been flipping over people. It's been a big acrobatics day.
Almost 9 p.m. So.
I know. Big acrobatics day today. Just basically flipping over people. So, volunteer. Can I have a volunteer to roll the dice?
How rude to just flip people off like that.
I was looking at this Google Maps picture of this one of the possible houses that we're looking at. And so, you know how they have on Google Maps, you can scroll left or right, and it'll just kind of like go to the next picture, so it almost looks like you're walking down the street for real, even though it's a bunch of still pictures. So one of the pictures at this one crossroad nearby, there's a person in a pickup truck flipping off the camera. It's just like, what? Like, there apparently someone saw the Google car and was like just flipping them off. I'm like, all right then. I did not
Very
know.
nice.
Yes, 2d6. Okay, sounds good. If you don't mind, Triffid. So you're rolling 2 dice. And we're aiming for 5 or above. Woo! 3 plus 2, 5. Just got it.
How much longer are we on?
We are on for about 15 minutes, I would say.
Okay. Just like thinking of anything quick I can do in the meantime.
I love those. Are really cool goblins. They're like, hey. Okay. So okay, so you have hit. So now what that means is on this throw we get to add 2 to the die for our next attack. So that means that in this next attack that you're about to make, we will add 2 to the die for any, not only will we add 2 to the die, so add plus 2, we can also double any damage done as we strike at the rotted patch in its chest. So now, chat, that it's been thrown, we can either kick or punch. So we are going to kick or punch this thing. Do we want to kick it or punch it? And we're going to add plus 2 to this roll and double the damage, whatever we choose. Kick it. All right, Ice Shield says kick it. What else we got? Kick or punch? Kick or punch? Kick, punch. It's all in the mind. Kick. Anyone else? Anyone else? We only have 1 vote. We can do better than that. Kick it or punch, folks. Kick, we all know what happened with our last punch. Yes, that's very true. It ended up with us being devoured by dogs. 2 kicks. Kick them when they're up. Kick them when they're done. What's up, Aaron? All right. Kick, 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 kick. All right. It looks like kick. All right. We are going to kick it. So now you're going to roll 2 6-sided dice again. It says the face of the undead barbarian is slack, but the eyes within it are windows to a soul forfeited forever. Hey now. Some solid writing there. Windows to a soul forfeited forever. You leap and drive the ball of your foot towards the dark eyes. So you're going to roll 2 dice again, but you're going to add +2 to it this time, Triffid. And so 2 dice +2. Nice. So that means 2 and 2, 8, so 10. So that's damage. So now what we're going to do is you're going to roll 1 die. We're going to add 2 to it, and we're going to double that because of double damage. So we're going to roll 1 die +2 and then double. We could actually 1-hit kill this thing if we get a 5 or a 6. 5 or a 6 would be 1-hit kill. Oh, your dog is snow shy, is barking at the snow. That's funny, Geester. Nice. 5 + 2 is 7 times 2 is 14. Now, if this is the first time we've struck it, and it is. Let's see. You cannot defeat the undead barbarian by taking the life which it gave up many centuries ago. Your blows, which would maim a normal man, merely break off parts of the undead warlord's body without halting its onslaught. Have any damage which your blows cause. Okay, but we also doubled it, so 14, so 7. You must dismember it entirely if the arcane magic which gave it life is to be dispelled. If you've just punched this foe, turn to 86. If you've just kicked it, turn to 74 and read on from the warlord's attack. All right, so the bad news is we don't get the double damage. The good news is because we hit it with double damage, we still get a lot of damage on it. So it's down to 7 stamina now. So that could have been a lot worse. Okay, now it is its attack. It tries to cut your leg from your body in a heavy upward swipe of the chill gleaming sword. Your defense as you try to hop aside is 8. So for this, we're actually going to be rolling, I believe, 2 dice, and we're going to be trying to get an 8 or more. I believe that's right. Snake eyes. So basically 2. Okay. All right. So, if it hits you, and it did, okay, so it's 1, 7, it's retired ninjas. Okay, right. So, that's what I thought. So for this one, since it hit us, we are going to have to make a defense. All right, so roll the number of damage and add the number given. So... All right, so we may try to block the attack, chat. So we just got hit. We can try to block it. But the score would be less than our defense given in that combat. But, and if your score is equal to or greater than your defense, your next attack is less effectual. Okay, so you can only block blows. So basically, we can try to block the hit that we just took, but it is going to put us at a negative for our next attack. So, do you want to take the negative for the next attack? No. No one's off the dice rolling team. But we're going to take a negative for the next attacks. The question is, chat, do we try to reduce the damage that we just took, or, by blocking it, or do we just take the damage and then keep our regular attack amount? What do you want to do, chat? So block or no block, basically, is my question.
I really like drawing Conan.
Yeah, Conan's great. Reduce damage, okay. Others agree. Blocked, try to reduce damage, or no. Ice Shield and Niscarid say take the hit. Triffid says reduce the damage. Anyone else? Take the hit or reduce the damage. Going once.
So something sad has been going on lately. I've been really in the mood to rewatch Firefly during quarantine and stuff like that.
Okay.
While I'm like sewing, so I need stuff to watch. And I can't watch it anywhere for free right now, legally.
Oh, really?
It's not on Netflix, it's not on Prime. It's like...
Interesting.
Why, Germany, why?
Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't
was
know.
On Netflix until like last year or so at least.
And then they took it off? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so Geister says reduce damage. Triffid says reduce damage. Ice Shield says take and take. I don't know what put on the one ring means. Thank you so much for the... Equip the ring already. Thank you so much, Arudinal, for the tier 3 sub. I really appreciate it. 27-month streak. Good gravy. That's crazy talk. That's over 2 years. 2 years, 3 months. It's crazy talk. Thank you so much, Arudinal. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so unfortunately, Dragon, that is not a thing that's an option. So are we, since we are currently tied, 2 who say take the hit, 2 who say take the damage, or take the hit, 2 who say block the damage, we need a tiebreaker. What could be better than being invisible? It's true. I wish this was an option, but unfortunately it's not. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? What's it going to be, chat? Block. All right. So then you're going to roll 2 dice again. I don't know if it's Triffid or Geister. If Geister's taking over, then Geister, and block for Rudinal as well. Geister, then you're going to need to roll 2 dice. And you're going to be looking for lower than, I believe it's an 8. Let me see. Roll 2 dice. If you're less than your defense given in the combat. Yes. So you need to roll less than an 8. Ugh, a 9. Okay, well, that means we've taken some damage. And it means we still get the -2. Geister has also been removed from now the... Okay, so we take 6 points of damage there. Ow. Okay, wrong dice. Yes, I wanted... For that one, that was supposed to be low. Okay, now, because we are still alive... So now, are we going to punch, throw, or kick again? So you know the drill here, chat. Do we punch, throw, or kick again? You both are the weakest link. These are my fireball dice. It's funny. So punch, throw, or kick again. It's down to 7 damage. We only do half damage to it. But if we threw it successfully and we then hit on our next attack, then we would do double damage, so it would compensate for that effect. So throw, throw, judo, flip, throw. Okay, so it sounds like people want to throw. So I am now going to ask Geister to keep the fireball dice. And now you're going to roll 2 dice again. You're looking at a 5 or above. So you want a 5 or above for this. We don't have those. The katana we're sort of well, we're punching and kicking and I don't know. If you wanted low, I'd have made my spouse roll. Wow. Called out. Shots fired. Man. All right. Dragon Spear says throw. So we're going to throw. So go ahead, Geister. We're looking at, you need above a 5 here on 2 dice. Or Triffid. I guess it's Triffid. That's fine. 4 plus 4 equals 8. We'll have to decide who's actually doing this. That's cool. 8 is successful. It is thrown successfully. And so now we get to attack with either a kick or a punch. So are we kicking or punching? Last time we kicked successfully. Do you want to kick again, chat? Because we're going to get +2 on this to kick roll. Geister rolls next. So you're just... Okay, you guys are... Okay, I got it. You're trading off. So kick or punch? Kick. 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 High kicks. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Kick, 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 kick. Those kicks were fastest. Okay. Kick, high kick, and kick. All right. Sounds like we're going to kick. All right, then I'm going to ask Geister this time to roll. You're looking for high this time, and you're going to add +2 to the die roll that you make. +2. +2. Eight. All right, that is a hit. So now, I don't know if Triffid is taking over for the damage roll or if it's Geister, but that has successfully hit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to roll 1 die, add 2, and double it. Equals 10. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so that's a hit. So now for the damage roll, we're going to roll 2 6-sided dice again. You're going to add +2. Sorry, I beg your pardon. 1 6-sided dice, not 2. You're going to roll 1 six-sided die. You're going to add 2 and then double it. And then we have to have that. So actually, I guess you should just 1 6-sided die and add 2. I think that's what we should have to do. No, that's fine, Geister. So we could just roll now. So I think this is Triffid rolling 1 6-sided die +2. So we're alternating, Geister, between you and Triffid. It's the first ever dual rolling experience. Okay, cool. So 3 + 2. Right, so it's 5 times 2 is 10. And then we have to have that, so we're at 5. Okay, so this thing is down to 2 stamina. It is almost dead. I mean, dead again. Now it's going to try to cut the leg from the body, so this is going to be Geister. So for this one, you're going to try to roll... You're going to try to roll less than an 8. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. You're going to try to roll... I believe it's more than an 8, actually. Yeah, you're going to try to roll more than an 8. So you're going to roll 2 6-sided dice, and you're going to try to roll more than an 8. Yeah. 5 does not succeed. So now, assuming that everyone wants us to block, Triffid, I'm going to have you roll this, and you're trying to roll low. So you're actually trying to roll below an 8. To block that damage. You're literally killing us. Uh-oh, curses. 8. Sadly, I think it has to be less than, not equal to. Let me just double check, though. Yeah, it has to be less than. Okay, so we're going to take the damage. So we're going to take... Oh, 6 damage. +2 is 8. That hurt a lot.
I believe the 15 minutes are over.
That was fast. Wow, that was good stuff, too, Terry. Look at that. Yeah, we're going to be just wrapping this combat one way or the other, I think. All right, so we're down to 8 points of stamina. We desperately need to get this thing taken out. So it's down to 2 points of stamina at this point, which means that, you know, we could try to throw it and then do the +2. Remember, whatever attack we make this turn is going to be -2 because of the block that we just unsuccessfully did. So we're going to be trying to attack at a -2. So are we punching, throwing, or kicking again? Punch, throw, or kick? Throw. I love that we keep throwing this guy. Throw, 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 throw. All right, looks like we're going to throw, going once, going twice. All right, so I think this is Geister up this time. So you're going to roll, for this one, you're going to roll 2 dice, but you are going to subtract 2 from your roll. And we're trying to get a 5 or above. They're all like they're all affected by the gas, Geester. They do not have our ninja skill, our ninja discipline, our ninja outfit, our ninja style, our ninja food, ninja music. Yeah. They've got, like, you know, armor and a flail, whatever, but we have the ninja. They are mooks and thus useless. They are mopes. Okay, so go ahead, Geester. 2 equals 5. Just enough. Wow, we got it, though. Just enough to throw it. All right, so it's now down on the ground, which means we get +2 to our next attack. And it's going to be doubled, although because of the effect on the Warlord, it's only going to be normal damage. So normal damage, whether we kick or punch. 2 points left. Are we going to kick again? Are we going back to that throw, kick, throw, kick? Apparently they failed their fortitude saves, I think. So this is going to be Trifid. Good stuff, Geester. So, chat, are we going to kick or punch? Now that they are on the ground, helpless before us. Kick or punch, kick or punch, kick or punch, kick or punch, kick or punch. Kick its skeletal room. Oh, I don't think that's a thing. Since the last kick failed, I say we punch. Kick, kick. Last kick failed, so punch. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. That's telling me all the things nonstop. It's a great quote, but... So I have 2 kicks, 1 punch. It just reminds me of a meme, which I won't repeat. 2 kicks, 1 punch. All right, going once. 2 kicks, 2 punches. 2 kicks, 2 punches. 2 kicks, 2 punches. I need someone to break this tie. 2 kicks, 2 punches. What about you, Nonstop? You want to pick one of those? 2 kicks, 2 punches. Yeah, I thought this sounded like credit music to me. It's good timing. Punch. All right, punch it is. Our first time attempting to punch. All right. We are going to punch it. The undead barbarian warlord lumbers towards you, its dark eyes pits of evil. You decide to put all of your strength into your blow using the Iron Fist punch. All right, so we're going to do the punch. So go ahead and make the roll. I guess this is Trifid that's making this roll. So 2 dice, +2, and you're trying to beat a 5. 2 dice +2. Three plus 3, that's 6, +2 is 8. That's a hit. All right, so now we just have to damage it. So go ahead and roll. That equals 8. Nice stuff. I love to see it. That's what I love to see. Okay, so we're just going to make a roll. So you're going to roll, what was it? Double damage, right? I think it was 1 die +2. So roll 1 die. We're going to add 2 to it. And we're not going to half damage because we are double damaging, but that's compensated for by the fact that it's undead. So 1 die +2. Punch plus equip. 1 die +2, 1 die +2. Which I think is Geester is on this one. Geester, 1 die +2. And Circles of Doom, it's true. Yeah, no, go ahead, Geester. I think it's Geester who's on this roll, if I'm not mistaken. So 1 die +2. You got this, Geester, or? You lowered the latency and got the oh. I see. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. 4 plus 4 equals 8. Good. Why am I getting this? Microphone's causing me problems again. Hold on 1 second. I will mute myself. Okay, so that's so 4 plus 4 is 8. Wait, what do you mean 4 plus 4? Oh, it's supposed to be 1 die, but that's okay. We're gonna have Trifid. It's just, yeah, it's a single die for damage, exactly. Yeah, go ahead and roll 1 die, Geester, since I'm doing this alternating thing. What is going on with my microphone today? Oh. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm rock solid on my end. I do not know what the deal is. I'm just going to go with Triffids then, Geester, because I want to make sure I do have to kind of get wrapping this up here. So I'm going to say 5 plus 2 is 7, which means that is more than enough to destroy this thing. So that has been hit, which means that it is beaten. The undead warlord is no more than a shredded mound of grotesque decay. The dark light in its eyes is gone, and the blade of its sword turns to smoke before your eyes. A sudden breeze gets up, wafting the yellow gas away from the hilltop, and you look around. The swordsman lies bleeding on the ground. The men in white and green... Check. Priests, you guess. What is just... it's driving me nuts. Okay. I'll have to fix this afterwards. The priest, you guess. The men in white and green, priests, you guess, although one was wearing armor, are not badly wounded and are overcoming the sickness caused by the magician's spell. The magician himself seems glad to see them alive, but looks sheepishly at the ground. The priest in green lays his hands upon the swordsman, who seems to recover a little, whilst the priest in white turns to face you. Well, thank you, my friend. You've saved our lives, but how is it that you could breathe inside the yellow cloud? He looks like an assassin to me, says the young magician, pointing at you as the swordsman rises to his feet. Well, at any rate, I thank you, in the name of Avatar, the supreme principle of good, for ridding Orb of this evil. Despite the fact that their recent performance suggests otherwise, you judge them powerful adventurers, hardened in the wilderness of Orb. Will you accept the priest of Avatar's invitation to eat with them, or vanish down the hillside as suddenly as you came? And here are the guys. There they all are. So, are we going to accept their invitation to eat? I mean, we got pretty much slammed with food, so I'm actually hoping that we can eat and, get some health, and that would be nice.
I vote for eating.
Sounds like eating is going to happen. Okay. And here we go. So we have hungry. Trifid says vanish from these useless losers. Okay, so we have 2 for eat, 1 for vanish. 2 for accept their invitation to eat, and 1 for vanish. Anyone else? This is going to be our last decision of the day. Food is for eating. It's true. It's going to be cheese, and we're lactose intolerant. Is that a vote for no? Change to eat. Okay. All right. Sounds like we're going to eat. The adventurers eye you warily, but give freely of their food, dried meat and oatmeal biscuits. You recognize the second priest to be a follower of the goddess Illustra, goddess of life, consort to Avatar, the supreme principle of goodness. The priest in white, who tells you his name is Thibault, begins to criticize the young magician. In the name of all that is good, Eris, what demon possess you that you should cast the noisome vapors around a being that does not need to draw breath to exist? If not for our savior here, we would have joined the wraith in its barrow by now. It's a fine magician who cannot even dispel his own magics. Eris blushes and turns away, but the swordsman, Vespers, moans, My sword arm will never be what it was. I said that we should not have taken up with the worshipper of a chaos god. Eris begins to laugh as you accept some food. The second priest, whose name is Tafelweir and wears a white cross on green and follows the goddess Illustra, says that he knows that Eris made no more than a simple mistake, but he suggests the magician give Vespers his Sunstar ring, as the swordsman's sword arm is crippled beyond magical healing. Wow, it says if you have the Goblin King's dancing sword. I don't have a dancing sword. I guess we missed that when we were running from the goblins. The magician surrenders his ring to the swordsman, and Thibault turns to you to ask if there's anything he can do to reward you for saving them. If you are wounded, he heals you, and you regain any lost points of endurance. Hey-o! Back up to full. That's what I'm talking about. If you came through the caves of the goblins, he notices swellings on your body and tells you have caught the plague. Praying to Avatar, he lays his hand on your forehead and drains the sickness from you. Score! No more plague for us. This done, they leave the hilltop, walking east towards the Sea of the Star. You take your leave of them, anxious to reach a port where you may take ship to the island of tranquil dreams. All right. So we got healed, and we also got killed of the plague. So
Sweet.
I'd say that was pretty much a good score. All right. I'm going to save this, and then I want to look at the art that we did today, as my microphone is continuing to drive me up a wall. All right, so we're going to save that there. Lovely. All right, let's take a look at the amazing art that we had today. What have we got?
So this was the opener.
That was Conan, looking
Yeah.
awesomely Conan-ish.
Thank you. Was halfway through, I was like, I guess I could make this something that, if it was in color anyway, could go onto the cover of Shonen Jump. So.
Mm-hmm. I love the shadow, by the way, on the scimitar, or I guess katana would be, but on the sword too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool. Good stuff. So there's Conan. Okay, Conan.
And then the puppies.
The wild dogs. Who let the dogs out? Who? All right, there are the incredibly intimidating dogs. And then the super intimidating, well, I mean, not really, goblins, who are awesome sauce. And they're like, hey, yeah. I love it. You forgot the chewed up bones. Yeah, we missed that. And the super fast Conan with the victory sign, because we did, in fact, defeat the undead warlord.
Yay.
Good stuff. So 4 drawings today. That last one was in record time. So good stuff,
Really
Terry.
tired all of a sudden.
Yeah. No, that was really fast. I was super impressed. Those are 4 amazing drawings, and as always, this was a great pleasure. And we made progress, chat. I think our next session should close out Way of the Tiger, I believe. So in January, we'll close this out, and then we'll have to decide what game book awaits us next. But and I still want to see whether or not we get this character right there on the cover, if we get to fight that thing, and if so, if that means that Terry will get a chance to try her hand at it. That's my hope. We will see whether that happens or not. But otherwise, we are at 20 stamina. I was really excited about that, and the fact that the plague has been cured. We've used up our calling on Quan, so we can't call on our god anymore, but we do have 4 inner force points. We have 3 shuriken left. And so I would say, all in all, pretty good, I would say. But it was always thanks to the amazing Terry that this was a super awesome session. So thank you as always, Terry. This is great. Where will the lovely folks see you here, there, and everywhere across the internets? Where should they go to find out more about Herald December and all that?
Herald December. Well, I mean, I am going to be posting my stuff over on my Instagram and on my Twitter at TariToons.
Okay.
And also to the heraldry subreddit, which and of course to the heraldry Discord. If you want me to send you an invite, just message me anywhere. Otherwise, you can find the link to that Discord on the heraldry subreddit, which is just r/heraldry. So yeah, that's where stuff is happening. And also, I would love to see more people participate, which would be nice.
Yes.
Also, but this is a little bit of a secret. Anybody who finishes the entire month, participates every day, will enter a raffle where they can win an emblazonment by me.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow, way to bury the lead. So that's see.
Yeah, I just thought about that like earlier while I was looking at other people posting, and I was like,
There you
because I
go,
was like, oh
chat.
wow, so many people are participating, and then somebody was, yeah, because the first day. It was like, yeah, okay, fair. Like maybe throughout the months people will like start dropping out because that's a thing that happens. And
But
we'll
now, but
see, like,
is that German time though, or is that like is that Eastern time, GMT? Like what? Like if somebody gets in a Herald December at like 11:30 p.m. tonight, our time, Eastern Standard Time.
oh, like, no, I'm just gonna check in on one day, see who finished.
Okay, okay. So there you go,
um
chat. If you want to actually give this a shot and actually
like
do
I
some
have to like
heraldry,
properly figure out how to exactly do this raffle. So but yeah, I will figure it out somehow.
That's awesome. No, I mean, listen,
Yes.
that's pretty sweet. So you should check that out. That is great. I've seen some of Terry's heraldry work, and it is awesome.
Thank you.
Obviously. So yeah, you should check that out. Otherwise, you should follow Terry on Patreon and support her on Patreon as I do, and you should support her on Twitter and all the other places. And you'll also see her here next Tuesday for Adventures of Middle Earth. Only one session this month, sadly, but we will have that session next Tuesday
Yes.
for. Terry will be there prominently as they're trying to unravel a conspiracy. And there's a shot now that they may actually take out, if they can get to him, Longo. We'll see if that happens next week. But as always, this was awesome. Chat, can we get some love for Terry? And as always, Terry, thank you so much. This is great. I love these pictures. And it's great. So go eat and get some rest.
Yes. I need food. I have potato soup waiting for me, so that's
well,
nice.
there you go.
Yes. So yeah, thank you guys for having me. Have a good day, evening,
Thanks,
morning.
Terry. Always a pleasure.
Have a good time zone. Bye.
Bye. All righty. So that is going to do it for us for this stream for today. That was, as always, a good time, and I'm glad that we got the chance to do it. But now it is time for me to go over and actually get ready. Let me close down. Let me clear that out. Close the poll. Stop RFbot. Let me close. Nope, not that. It's not what I meant to do. Let me close this and let me get rid of that. Lovely. So that's going to be it for me, but I'm not done overall today, though, because I'm going to be over at GOGCom. And let me remind everybody, by the way, really, really important that people not miss this. There is a big announcement coming up on GOG in just about a half hour, a little over a half hour, where I'm going to be doing D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. But if you like tabletop games, and I hope you do, or you might be on the wrong channel. If you like role-playing, and if you're like, I am all about this stuff, I have a big tabletop-related announcement, which is coming up literally in a half hour over on GOG. So you will not want to miss that announcement. That'll be happening over there, again, at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll be moving on to play D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. So it's going to be good times. So please stop over for that. Otherwise, you will see us back on this channel again tomorrow night for Community D&D with the Shadow Crew, with Triffity Mats, of course, in chat, and with Hoodie and with Rock God and with Echo Alpha X5, and Shadowed Mage is your DM. That is going to be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thursday we will be off. Friday we have Esper Genesis, which will be continuing that campaign. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. And then Saturday we will be having the postmortem for Curse of Strahd and the session 0 for Palace of the Red Pasha. So that's going to be happening, our little mini campaign that returns to the world of Tyranny of Dragons. That is going to be happening this coming Saturday. And then that's pretty much it until Monday. And then we've got some more role-playing coming up, and then some, some Final Fantasy VII Remake. We got a lot of that planned in the second half of the month. Again, that's going to be more up in the air depending on my situation with how the family's moving situation is, so we will deal with that as it comes. But that's what we're looking at, and it's going to be exciting. I'm going to be okay. It's been a rough day. I'm just a bit confused. Yes, our VOD has been a little bit kind of all over the place, mostly because it keeps hearing me yell about my microphone being annoyed at whatever the hell my microphone is doing. It's like, why are you causing a problem? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it's something's with it. But anyway, I'm going to try to get that fixed, but not right now. Right now, I'm going to be heading off here. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed my new panel. This is me in the shadows. This is me out of the shadows. This is me too far out of the shadows. Ah! This is me back to normal in the shadows. I mean, like, literally, this is like 0. This is like 8%. It's even a little too bright. So, like, it's like basically like 8% is somewhere around there is what this thing uses. So, it can absolutely change colors. There's blue and super warm. Ah, warm, cold. Warm, cold. So we're going to move this back to warm. So yeah, so I'm glad that I no longer have this big ridge, because you can tell when I have the thing off, like it's just, even, because I'll show you, because I've got to turn this on anyway. When I turn this thing on, okay, so normally this is my light as it gets dark, which is great, except I have a shadow on my face. But not now. Now I don't have a shadow on my face, and so it evens this out considerably. And again, if I up it up a little further, I mean, there's still a shadow, but it's much less noticeable. That's me. See? So it just evens out that shadow quite a bit, and it's going to help with the camera as well. I do have to get another camera, a camera, and I'm still looking into how that's all going to work. As I'm going to do that, yeah. But that's a mirrorless camera. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with that look. So yes, I have discovered fire. That's true. I finally have an actual, honest to God, lighting panel, and it's, I don't know. This is gonna. I'm gonna shut this off a moment, but I'll show you what the panel looks like. That is what the panel looks like. See, and if I turn it on, but you can actually see. It's got these like little, see those little LEDs like diffused? I don't want to burn it out the webcam, but so yeah. Wow. My wrinkles? Really, Dragon? Not aware that I had that many wrinkles yet. Wow. How about that? I don't even think that's accurate. I'm just looking like. I have these sort of, I have the smile lines. I am a spring chicken. Yes. Somewhat older chicken, but still a spring chicken. Anyway. But that is going to do it for me, and I do have to get heading out of here. I haven't noticed, spoiler alert. Wow. Wow. I see how it is. Listen, if I ever shave this beard off, that drops 10 years off my look immediately. All right? If I ever want to do that. So. Exactly, Triffid. I agree. I completely agree. But that's going to do it for me. I got to get on Rise Up I got to rise up on out of here because I've got to head over to GogCom's Twitch so I can get ready for that stream. Again, big announcement over there. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel here. Check out the YouTube at !arvtube. Discord is !arvcord. Twitter is !arvtweets. Website is arvanellarun.com. You can support us financially by checking out the shop. !arv is the merchandise area, which has all kinds of stuff relating to Infinity and beyond. I'm worried too. Yeah, it was the way I was. I mean, until I did not have a beard. I tried to get one my senior year of college, and it never really, like, this part never really connected properly or whatever. So then I was without again for 95, 96, 97. I think I started to grow one again back in 99, 2000, I think is where I started growing the goatee, and then eventually went to the full beard a few years ago. So actually, I've had a beard now for 20 years, which is, whew, it's hard to believe, but yeah, someday you'll see. And then my daughter will be really upset. My daughter made very clear, little Arv would not be happy if I no longer had a beard. She'd be like, no, because she'd be like, what happened to my dad? So, what's up, It's Law? So yes, !arvcord for the Discord. I mentioned all that. !arvtreon is the Patreon. Excuse me. where you can check us out. Check out my Patreon, which again is what made it possible for me to get this new light panel and stuff like that. So that is supported. You were all big, huge helps, and I really appreciate that. But I hope you were able to support us if you can by going over there and supporting the Patreon, which also gets you a lot of cool stuff as well as the channel stuff. Also, you can also as well sub to the channel, which is 20 beard. Use the command at the same time. And then also, of course, you can support the channel by subbing to the channel as Shadowed Mage, as Arudinel did today, as I believe Dragonspear did today as well. All of you lovely people that have subbed and resubbed to the channel, I continue to appreciate it. It really does make a difference. Again, cool stuff for you and the channel, and it really does help. So thank you so much. But that is the deal with that. And then last on the publishing side, exclamation point Icarus for my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts. Very excited about that as we go forward. Exclamation point library is for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, which is going to be shipped within the next few days, which is really exciting to hear. And then last but certainly not least, exclamation point Greyshade KS for my Greyshade Kickstarter, which is launching in early February. Otherwise, the most important things to remember, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, for reasons I have previously expressed. Important that we continue to push forward on affirming and asserting the significance and importance and value of Black lives. And last but certainly not least, exclamation point Help Now. Again, this is the World Health Organization's page on suicide prevention. Very important. This was something that we started doing a couple weeks ago, and I think we're going to do for a while, because it is really important that people recognize that there are those out there who can help them. And so if you are one person like that, please reach out. And if you are someone who can help others, do the same thing, because you can save a life and it's very important to do so. So please consider doing that. Otherwise, I know, right? We need all the mods doing all the commands. Otherwise, that's going to be it for me for now. I'm going to head over to GOG at 4 p.m. Eastern for D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder. I want to thank my wonderful mods, Arudinel, Dragonspear, TariToons, Triffity Metz, Coven Guy, and It's Law for stopping by. And it's always a pleasure, of course, to have Terry with us. I'll come back to Terry in just a minute. Thank you to my subscribers, Arudinel, Dragonspear, TariToons, Triffity Metz, and, of course, Nonstop and Arinth. And, of course, we have had Patreon supporters over there as well, so thank you for that. Thank you to Commander Root, to EA, ECAG, iShield, Geester, Gigafrost, Gorgar, Idliar, Iscariot Paladin, Lurks, Peter Toast, Satis Kitty, SRMX, totally not a bot. The kids are asleep. What's up, kids are asleep? The Rising Tides, of course. What's up? Again, thank you, as always, Rising Tides. You, Christensen, and Uncle Elias. And most of all, thank you tonight to TariToons for her amazing illustrations. It's always a pleasure to do these streams, and I'm excited for next month's. But I'm also excited to see her as part of Adventures in Middle-earth next week, and I'm excited for all of you to join me over at GOG in just a little bit over 20 minutes. That's it for now. Much love to all. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you folks over at GOG in a little bit. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Have a good night. Huh?